This is Atomic Shinobi and today I'm going to narrate third and final part of What If Naruto Became the Shinigami Spirit Walking Agent. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
The tent for a mobile home close to Tazuna house. Time to wake up Naru. Naru was said by an odd boy with blue hair, who was about 8 years old and seated on top of Naruto's chest. Can you get off, it is kind of hard to breathe when you are crushing my lungs, Naruto sighed. He said, sorry, as he got off. I didn't know that Tsunami-chan has another antsy brat, said Naruto. The boy declared, neither am I a son of Tsunami-chan nor am I antsy. Naruto questioned, then who are you and what are you doing here? My name is Ju, I'm here because I was searching for you and now I finally found you, Ju replied. Naruto inquired, why were you looking for? Can't tell you because you are not ready to know it yet, however what I can say is that it's time for breakfast, so get up and make some waffles, he replied. Damn troublesome brat making so much noises this early in the morning. Naruto, who's the kid and what does he want? Replied Shikamaru. His name is Ju and he wants waffles, so I guess we are having waffle for breakfast, said Naruto. Waffles! Exclaimed Shoji. Chocolate chip with blueberries and strawberries topping for me, Ju replied. The kitchen while everyone else was eating or waiting for their waffle, Tsunami said, we have a waffle maker? Naruto replied, nope, I have a waffle maker. She repeated, and you carry it with you everywhere? Naruto answered, yep. She questioned, how come? Never know when you need one, so what do you want on your waffle? Replied Naruto. You really don't have to do that, you already done a lot for us so you don't need to provide us extra food, she replied. Nonsense, beside I know how it feel to not have enough food to eat and starve, so I don't mind helping those who are less fortunate than me, said Naruto. Alright then I will have strawberries on it, she replied. Kakashi inquired, where my blueberries waffle? According to Naruto, in a second. Okay, since we got some training and we should start guard duty, so now we need to decide who should guard Tazuna at the bridge today while the other get in some last minute training, said Kakashi. I can do it since I was planning on training by the sea today, said Naruto. You were? Inquired Kakashi. Yeah, since crashing into the water hurt weighs less than crashing into the solid ground, even though I will have my clones do it for the most part. Beside I can make a lot of kage bunshin, meaning I can train and guard at the same time, said Naruto. Okay, so Naruto will guard Tazuna, while every else continue to train and I will get some last minute rest, said Kakashi. And since I have nothing else to do I shall follow Naru. Naru, Ju replied. Kakashi said, so who is this kid again? I don't really know, aside from the fact that his name is Ju, Naruto answered. Kakashi questioned, what is he doing here? He said that he was searching for me for some reason that he can't tell me yet, said Naruto. Is he an enemy ninja? Kakashi inquired further. I doubt it, Naruto answered. Kakashi questioned, so you going to keep him like some lost puppy? I suppose, Naruto uttered. Well then make sure you well feed and water also that he is house trained too, said Kakashi. Naruto asked, what do you think I made waffle for? On the bridge Ju uttered the words, to the right, while Naruto was floating through the air on his back. Cloud added, no left. On Naruto's back, Ju said, right. Cloud said, left. Right, left. Splash. Naruto said as he got up after colliding with the sea, okay, no more backseat driving or I will turn myself around and leave you two at the bridge with my clones. Okay, was what Cloud and Ju said. Tazuna pondered, the things ninja can do. One of the clones protecting Tazuna remarked, yep, we have many talented people. One of the employees said, Tazuna, can we talk for a minute? Tazuna inquired, what is it Gichi? I've been doing some thinking and decide to stop working on the bridge, said Gichi. What? Why? Inquired Tazuna. If we continue this Gadu will notice it and if we get killed then what is the point of it all? I want to help you but it is getting too dangerous, said Gichi. Fine, you don't have to come anymore now, if you excuse me I have some work to do, Tazuna replied. Gichi apologized as he walked away. When they reached the bridge, Naruto remarked, looks like you could use an extra pair of hands. Tazuna inquired, you're volunteering? Well I'm not a professional but can be handy at time, he responded. Tazuna responded, sure, why not? I could use all the assistance I can get. Alright, 100 should do, if you need more tell me. Well I have to get back to training, he replied. As Naruto returned to training, Tazuna gave the order, 100 is more than enough, okay, I assign each of a task. The marketplace. You don't know how bad it is until you see it firsthand, Gato really did a number to this place, said Naruto. Yeah, Almost everyone here have lost all their hope that why we need the bridge to return everyone's courage so thing goes back like it was before Gato came. Anyway, let hurry and pick up some foods. Tazuna responded. As Naruto entered the market, he thought, there's hardly anything to buy in here. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Shadow clone technique. Okay Tazuna, my clones will escort you back home, and here take this scroll, it contain all kind of food seal inside it. Tsunami can take anything she want and as much she want, just asked Ero. Kakashi Sensei to unseal it for her. Naruto replied by creating 3 clones. What? You already done so much for us, we can't ask you for more, Tazuna responded. It fine, you don't have to worry about it, just leave some leftover for me and take Ju-kun home with you. Well, see you all later, I'll be back soon, said Naruto. Tazuna said, wait, where are you going? Ju said, can I come please? Naruto ruffled Ju's hair and said, no, Ju-kun, you can't come with me. I'm going to have some fun at the red light district. He then walked away. Tazuna said, wait, isn't he a little young for that? One of the clones remarked, not that kind of fun, come on, let's head back already. I don't see why I can't go too, I know all about the birds and the bees, Ju sighed. One of the clones said, you do. Ju stated, yes, bees sting and birds sing. The clone remarked, I don't think that exactly it. Ju questioned, then what is it exactly? Something you learn when you are older and it will be less traumatic for you than it was for me, replied the replica. The district of red lights. Naruto kicks in the door of the bar where Gato's men congregate. He learned about the bar from an illegal gambling den where he went to get information and make a lot of money. Okay, which one of you loser or Gato's worthless yes. Man? Naruto asks. As he and another henchman rose from their seats, one remarked, Brat, that was really stupid. It's the kind of stupidity that will get you killed. Naruto walked up behind them and knocked them out, saying, so you too, okay, better get to work then. Naruto waved a hand and said, you didn't see anything and these are not the droid that you were looking for. He then left, taking the 2 henchmen to a remote area where they would be questioned, while the other 2 chose to ignore the scene they had just witnessed. Cliff of the Rocky Sea. Naruto addressed the 2 tie-up henchmen who were dangling upside down over the edge of a rocky sea cliff, saying, okay, I have some questions and you will answer them. One of the henchmen said, and if we don't answer them then we will be swimming with the fishes, right? Then Naruto tilted his head and said, of course not, what make you say that? Oh, I don't know, maybe the fact that you hanged us upside down over a freaking cliff where you can just cut the rope that is holding us and drop us to our watery grave. The other accomplice replied. Oh, this is just for dramatic effect. Truth be told, I have a jutsu that can get the information I need, so this is total unnecessary, said Naruto. The first henchman questioned, you are insane, aren't you? Naruto marked them with his chakra dagger after the jutsu active sword of light piece passed through the body through the mark seal. Borderline insane. My good sir, borderline. Anyways, let's get this interrogation started. Seishin o Kawasu Mano. Shinjitsu no Ken, Spirit Breaker. Sword of Truth, he said. With a sword of light slicing through his body, one of the henchmen exclaimed, what the hell is this? Shinjitsu no Ken or Sword of Truth. It won't hurt you or do any damage, but it will compel the person it affects to speak the truth, so any question I ask you will be answered truthfully. So let begin. How many mercenaries and ninjas does Gato have in his service? Replied Naruto. A few hundred mercenaries, but the only ninja he only hired are Zabuza, his apprentice, and the demon brothers, said the underling. Naruto wrote down the information on a notebook he took out of somewhere and wrote, he didn't hire any more ninja? No, they are too expensive to hire a lot of. Hell, even Gato hired a few more mercenaries to get rid of Zabuza and his crews once he finishes killing off the bridge builder, you and your team, so that he doesn't have to pay him in the end, because it is cheaper to hire a few mercenaries than one missing ninja. The underling replied. Maybe I can use that information to my advantage somehow. Okay, next question, where is the location of your headquarters? Replied Naruto. The henchman replied, on the first island northwest from here. Now what is the most embarrassing thing that you have ever done? Replied Naruto. I farted in front of the girl that I was about to confess to, because of that I ran away from home to become a mercenary, said the initial henchman. The other henchman remarked, I like to wear dresses and call myself Betty because it makes me feel petty. Naruto remarked, all right, that was really unsettling. The henchman questioned, what was the point of the last question? No point, I just ran out of thing to ask, so I just started asking random question for no reason. Anyway, since we are done here, I will wipe your memory of our meeting and set you free to buy us some more time and to keep your boss from getting suspicious. Seishin o Kawasu Mano. Kasatsu memory, Spirit Breaker. Fracture memory, Naruto said after knocking out Gato's 2. House of Tazuna. It getting late and Naruto still not back yet. Where did you say he went off to, Tazuna? Kakashi responded. Well, if I remember right, he said something about having some fun at the red light district, Tazuna replied. What? Exclaimed Sakura, Ino, and Tsunami. Asuma pondered, so he developed that kind of interest already. Kakashi exclaimed with tears of happiness, Hee hee Naruto, my student, I am so proud, you already took your first step toward manhood. Yo. Sorry that I am late, I ended up meeting some people and one thing led to another and Led just said that I had a busy day and I'm really exhausted right now, said Naruto. Sure you are, Kakashi said, giving him a wink with his only eye that appeared to be blinking. Arrow. Kakashi. Sensei, is there something wrong with your eye? Replied Naruto. No, there nothing wrong. Anyway, did you have fun after you split way with Tazuna? Kakashi inquired. Naruto, where the hell were you and what the hell did you do? Sakura barked. Well, I went to the red light district to gamble, won 1,000,000 Ryo, found the local bar where Gadu's men hang out at, capture, interrogate and wipe the memories of 2 of Gadu's henchmen. Then on my way back I ended up playing the Good Samaritan by cooking foods, donating clothes and building shelter for the homeless population of Wave, offer free medical treatment for the sick and help a bunch of old ladies cross the street. And that is why I am exhausted and late coming back, said Naruto. She questioned, you expected us to believe that? Kakashi said, I believe his excuses. That's because you were going to steal those excuses to use for yourself when you were late again, said Sasuke. Kakashi replied, true if he lets me. Naruto answered, sure whatever. Kakashi inquired, so what kind of info did you gather? He handed the notebook to Kakashi and said, it's all in here, and I made some notes on what course of action to take based on what info was gathered. Sakura questioned, you actually interrogate Gadu's men? Naruto said, yes, I told you didn't I? You intend to eliminate Gadu? Inquired Kakashi. Yes, in order for me to expand my business here I need to get rid of him, said Naruto. Asuma questioned, would Dad let you do such a thing? Well, Oji-san policy for allowing me to do political and business assassination for the benefits of my company is it is okay so long as I find a way to benefit Konoha too without cause any international incident. So I was thinking if I can get treaty signed to open a trade route between Wave and Konoha and get a discount on import and export between the two would fall within the parameter of the policy, then he will be fine with it, said Naruto. The Hokage have a policy for when you do this kind of assassination attempts? Kakashi inquired. He has all kind of policy for me to follow in order to remind me that if I going to cause trouble that I should do it in way to help the village in the end rather than cause problem for it later on, said Naruto. And how many times have you done something that falls within this situation? Kakashi responded. To which Naruto replied, a few times, according to Asuma, 10 times to be exact. According to Shikamaru, Naruto can do some troublesome thing from time to time. Naruto remarked, but that's what makes life so interesting. Shikamaru said, yeah, but it is still troublesome. Tsunami remarked, well, clean up, dinner will be ready soon. Following their meal after supper, Sakura inquired, hey, why is this picture torn up, who was in it? Tsunami responded, it was my husband. Inari got up and left the room when Tazuna added, and also the man who was called the hero of this city. Tsunami stood up and walked out of the room after saying, Inari, father, I told you not to talk about that in front of him. Naruto got up and said, well, don't be outdone, I'm going to leave too. Wait, don't you want to know what this is all about? Ino responded. Oh, I already know the whole story since Kaiza told it to me. Anyway, I'm not in the mood for a tragic story right now, so I think I will go out and play tag with Cloud, Tree and Makona. Obito, stay here in case of an emergency. Oh, also Kurama is coming with us since he has nothing better to do than to come with us so he can run around in the woods, said Naruto. That isn't accurate, Kurama stated. So you have something better to do than come with us right now? Replied Naruto. No, Kurama answered. Ju said, I'm coming too. As he, Cloud, Tree, Makona, Ju, and Kurama departed the house, Naruto remarked, okay, well then I guess we will see you all later. Playing tag. What kind of ninja plays tag? Asked Ino. Troublesome. It is Naruto's unique way of training. He tried to find fun or challenging way to train to keep it interesting, said Shikamaru. Tag for Naruto usually has his familiars constantly attacking him and trying to tag him while he does nothing but dodge using all the skill he has. We played it with him once and it was fun. Well, until one of us was it, then it was very painful, said Choji. Tazuna questioned, how does he know about Kaiza? Kakashi replied, he told us that he talked to him. But he said, Tazuna started. Dead? Inquired Kakashi. Yes, Tazuna replied. Well, it seems that his spirit hasn't moved on to the afterlife and Naruto met his ghost, said Kakashi. Tazuna questioned, you ninjas can see spirits, is that normal for you? No, as far as I know the only living person that can see spirits is Naruto. As for him being normal, from what I can tell he was never normal to begin with. Anyways, tell us about Kaiza. Kakashi responded. Right, it all begins with a Tazuna kicked off his tale of Wave's hero, who died battling Gato. In the Wave Forest, as Kurama explored the forest with Ju following him, Naruto turned to face Tree, Cloud, and Makona and said, give me your best, you guys. Mokuton. Maruchi Mori Yari, wood style, multi-forest spears. Tree yelled as several wooden spears shot out of the ground, piercing Naruto as he jumped, flipped, and performed various acrobatic maneuvers to avoid them. Cloud zoomed in and said, Futon. Kuki Gyorai, wind style, air torpedo, causing Naruto to swerve to the right to dodge him. Makona kick. Exclaimed Makona as he executed a leap kick, and Naruto sidestepped to the left to evade the assault. Futon. Kei's Kojin. Wind style. Descending wind. Cloud uttered as he shot down to give Naruto a headbutt as the other moved in to tag him. You were able to avoid being tagged for an hour and 30.1 minute, Naruto.kun, said Makona. Naruto gasped, all right, let's take a 5-minute break before we do it again. The four then carry on playing the game until late at night, when Naruto faints and goes to sleep in the forest. The morning after, as Haku entered the clearing where Naruto and the other were sleeping, he thought, he is the ninja from before. Haku retreated into a defensive position as Naruto woke up and said, you know, it kind of creepy to stare at someone while they are sleeping, Hunter.san. His eyes were still closed. Haku reflected, how the hell did he know? Damn it, I didn't bring any of my weapons with me, so now I'm in a real bind. I wonder if I miss breakfast. Oh, and good morning, Hunter.san, Naruto sighed. Still on guard, Haku asked, how did you know who I am? Naruto tilted his head and remarked, like I told you last time, I can see into the depth of your soul. So you not going tell me, huh? Just like a true shinobi, Haku replied. What are you talking about? I just told you how I can see into the depth of your soul. For example, from what I can see from your soul is that you are very loyal to Zabuza, but I also see a lot of pain and suffering from your past, plus you like to cross dress, which is kind of disturbing considering how effeminate you look, said Naruto. I don't like to cross dress, it just that I don't mind. Anyways, you shouldn't underestimate me, Haku replied. Of course I won't, considering that your height and ability can turn me into a human popsicle, said Naruto. You also know that from looking into my soul? Haku responded. Nope, I figure that out from how you were able to attract an ice elemental and the fact that you created an ice mirror to escape our last battle, Naruto replied. So what if you know my ability? You won't beat me. I won't, failed Zabuza. Sama, Haku replied. Naruto said, all right, so my name is Naruto Uzumaki. What's yours? Haku, was his response. Ju didn't want to be left out, so he added, and I'm Ju, aren't I the cutest kid you ever saw? Sure, anyways, how come you're not getting up? Aren't we going to fight? Haku responded. Naruto replied, nope, don't feel like it. Haku questioned, what, aren't we enemies? Naruto remarked, well, based on what I learned, I wonder if we are. And what did you found out, Mr. All-Knowing Ninja? Haku inquired. First, I'm not all-knowing. If I was, I wound know how to make vegetable tasted like miso ramen, and secondly, what I know is that Gato planned to hire a bunch mercenaries to get rid of Zabuza and you once he finished killing off the bridge builder, said Naruto. What? Wait, how'd I know if you were telling me the truth or not? Haku responded. You really don't, but considering how greedy Gato is, it mostly what will happen, and if you want to know for sure you can always kidnap one of his men in secret and interrogated them. That how I found out. Other than that, all you can do is trust me, said Naruto. Haku questioned, and why should I trust you? Because I am a ninja and a ninja is a master of being trustworthy. Well, actually that not true, however, considering that I haven't attacked you, or the fact that if I wanted you dead I could have killed you when you thought that I was asleep, at least give you enough reason to hear me out, said Naruto. Alright, I'll listen to you, Haku said as he sat down. Okay, I want you to tell Zabuza that I want to make a deal with him, said Naruto. Haku questioned, what kind of deal? Join forces to eliminating Gato, since he is a common enemy, seeing as he trying to kill the person we are guarding while at the same time going to stab you guys in the back, but if you want proof then we can wait until does the act and then deal with him. Once that out of the way I can negotiate with Zabuza to aid him in his quest to overthrow the 4th Mizukage, said Naruto. Haku questioned, and what would you gain from help us? Many things, connection to people in high places for one, I mean, if this work and Zabuza become the new Mizaukage, then I gain some political power. Also, if he the new Mizaukage, then I can expand my business to Kirigakure and I gain a profit from it. Also, it gives me a place to run away to if I ever get exile or worst. There are a lot of ignorant and prejudiced idiots in the village that don't like me, but thing been getting better, however I should prepare for the worst just in case, said Naruto. Haku questioned, how come you were hated in your village? Well, not everyone hated me there, but the one who does is due to the burden that I bear, said Naruto. That answer is kind of vague. You're not going to give me a clear answer, are you? Haku inquired. Naruto said, nope, so do we have a deal or what? Well, it is up to Zabuza Sama since he is the one in charge, Haku replied. Naruto replied, all right, then I'll wait for his response. So you are out here training to get stronger. Is there someone who is precious to you? Haku responded. Haku, look, you may be pretty and all, and also I'm currently not with anyone right now, not because I can't get anyone but because I'm 12th and not looking for romance right now. However, I have no interest in guys, I'm into girls. So sorry, but I can't go out with you, but we can still be friend, right? Said Naruto. And beside Naru is Hin's boyfriend, Ju replied. Hin? He must mean Hinata. Chan, wait, I'm not her boyfriend. I told you a minute ago that I wasn't with anyone right now, and beside we are just friend, Naruto replied. For now, was what Cloud, Tree, Makona, Ju, and Kurama said. Naruto questioned, and how do you know about Hinata, Chan, Ju-kun? Ju replied, with the power of friendship. What kinds of person answer a question with a question? Asked Naruto. You, was the response from everyone but Haku. What the hell, Baka, I wasn't asking you out, Haku replied. Naruto deadpanned, then what the hell is all this talk about precious people? I'm just asking if you have people that are precious to you and that you care a lot about, because I believe that when a person has someone important to protect, then they can be truly strong, Haku replied. Oh, then yes, I do have people that are precious to me, both living and dead. Also I have elemental spirits, animals and chakra being that are also precious to me too, said Naruto. Kurama remarked, aw kid, I didn't know you cared about me. Haku questioned, did that fox just talk? Yes it did, and Kurama, you may be an annoying, the incarnation of destruction and the main reason that I am hated in my village, but we've been together for so long that you kind of grew on me, said Naruto. That may be true, but I still view you as a pathetic human, Kurama replied. And I still view you as egotist Kitsune and the most vain creature in existence, said Naruto. It's fine as long as we understand each other, Kurama stated. Haku remarked, you know that you are really weird. Naruto declared, normalcy is overrated. Beside Naru-kun is incapable of being normal, Cloud stated. Naruto retorted, I can so be normal, Tree said, no, you can't Naruto, Sama. Definitely not, said Makona. Naruto sobbed anime tears as he said, no fair, you all against me. Arguing with talking dolls and rabbit-like creature, definitely the strange person I ever met, though I wonder how the dolls can talk, Haku stated. Naruto pulled out a pale human-shaped doll wearing a white kimono and holding a fan while sitting atop a snowflake-shaped platform. Anyway, we need a way to stay in contact so we can finalize the deal. Now which one should I give you him, since you have the Haiden Keke Genkai? This one should work, he said. You're using a doll as a communication device, Haku responded. Naruto questioned the ice element that followed Haku. It's not just a doll, now which one of you wants to sever as a contact between them and me? One of the ice elements said, I will, while holding the new doll. Naruto said, okay, what's your name? Snow, was the response from the ice element. Haku questioned, did you just create life? No, and considering that I got my power from the Shinigami, I am capable of such feat, said Naruto. As Haku put it, Shinigami? Cool, can I get a built-in friend too? Ju responded. We can talk about that later, Ju-kun. Now Haku, you will take Snow because he can see and speak with all the elemental spirits that normal human or somewhat normal people like you can't. His task will be replaying and taking any message I send to you through my wind elemental allies, said Naruto. Why would I take this with me? For all I know it has a tracking seal on it, Haku asked. Because I am a ninja, and a ninja is a master of giving people kick-ass gift. Also I am currently having my wind elemental allies survey the location of Gadu's base, and I can and will be sending one to follow you back so I can know where you are anytime I want. Plus I told you a bit of my ability, so it should count for something, said Naruto. So you can really see ghosts and spirits, any that I would know? Haku responded. Naruto replied, yes, your mother's ghost. Surprise Haku by asking, what? How long has she been here? The ghost of Haku's mother, who was standing beside him, said, Tell him that I have always been with him. She said that she has always been with you, and you know what I just let her tell you. Danketsu no Damashi. Shei no Okoromono. Unity Soul. Share gift. You have a few hours together, Naruto replied. Haku said, Mother. Haku, my son, was her response as the two spent hours talking to each other and sharing a mother-son moment. Of course you are more than a mere tool. Seriously, you and Zabuza have mess up relationship, and I need to knock some sense into you both with my therapy jutsu, or both you end up dead or worse. Emo. Anyways, that jutsu is about to run out soon, so finish up what you want to said, Naruto said a few hours later. She remarked, and you know that I always love Haku. Haku uttered the words, I love you too, as his mother disappeared and the jutsu wound down. With Snow at his heels, Haku said, Thank you, Naruto-san, but I have to go now and tell Zabuza Sama about the offer. Come along, Snow-san. As he watched Haku fade into the distance, Naruto remarked, I still think that he is way too pretty to be a guy. The Shinigami said, I understand what you mean, and then he appeared directly beside him. Do you make a habit of randomly dropping in, boss? Replied Naruto. Well, I try not to be random, but somehow it doesn't end up working, he replied. Ju said, Hey Shin. Sama, how are you? He answered, I'm doing fine, and how about you? I'm doing great anyway. I finally found Naru, and I think he the right chosen one, Ju replied. Naruto questioned, Chosen one, what are you talking about? Ju said, Sorry, you can't know yet. Naruto said, So you know who this kid is, boss? I do. I understand why he was looking for you, too, he said. And? Naruto asked. And I wouldn't tell you because I not my job beside this fall with the realm of another deity, so it is their responsible to inform you when you are really, or in this case when he sober up and remember he has a job to do, he replied. In any case, how many gods are interested in me? Naruto inquired. The Shinigami answered, A few. Excellent, and I'm willing to wager that they share your eccentricity. What's going on and why are you here? Naruto inquired. There are reports of certain immortals nearby that are on the hit list, he responded. You also want me to look after them? Naruto inquired. No, I do want you to take them down eventually, but at your current level right now the best you can do is drive them away so that you can fight them another day, he said. Naruto clarifies, so you came here to warn me about them? Yes, but also to give you a present that will support you in your work. To receive this gift, you must now remove Mugen no Sora, Shinigami said. What sort of present? Naruto pulled out his scythe and asked. The ability to summon my familiars, beings from the Death Clan, to aid you in battle, and just so you know the only mortals that is granted this right are those who are under my services, which you fall under, replied Shinigami. You know that I already have a summoning contact with tigers. After all, when Kato made me an honorary cub, he gave me the summoning contact left by his ancestor to give to brave and noble warrior, which he decided that I fit the bill, said Naruto. You can have multiple summons, of course, and the summoning tattoo they gave you on your left arm is evidence of that. You will be able to call forth my familiars through Mugen no Sora, which is why I'm asking you to draw your scythe, Shinigami remarked. All right, but before I do anything, I should ask Byako for permission. Naruto stated, I don't want to do anything that will make them feel disrespected or angry because they might cut off contact with me or, worse, turn me into a scratching post. According to Shinigami, true, in order to call forth a giant white tiger with black stripes wearing samurai style armor, a katana on each side, and a sashimomo, Japanese banners that samurai warriors carry when they go into battle, Naruto said. Kachiyose no Jutsu, summoning technique, as he bit his thumb, drawing blood and wiping it on the tattoo on his left arm. How are you today, Konnichiwa Cub? Byako inquired. I'm doing great, how about you, Konnichiwa Tora Oyabun, Tiger Boss, Naruto answered. I'm doing fine too, Byako answered. Big Cat, Ju uttered those words. Naruto remarked, not Kitty Ju.kun Tiger. Alright, Big Tiger, Ju uttered those words. Byako remarked, I didn't know you have a child, Cub. In addition to the fact that I am only 12 years old, he is not my child. He is a kid who showed up, and even though we had only recently met, I somehow ended up adopting him as a little brother, or, more accurately, he adopted me as his big brother, Naruto remarked. Well, I do need a good male role model in my life, Ju replied. As a half-sane ninja with an obsession for explosions and ramen a suitable role model? Byako asked. Compared to others in the ninja world he can do worst, said Naruto. Anyways, what reason did you have for summoning me for, Cub? Byako inquired. Well, the Shinigami is giving me the chance to be able to summon his familiars, and I call you to ask for permission to be able to summon the Shinigami's familiars along with the ability to summon from the Tiger Clan," said Naruto. "Well, I don't see anything wrong with that. In fact, after hearing about your life and how you ended up working with the Shinigami himself, I was expecting this to occur. I, Byako, the Tiger Clan's boss, grant you the authority to call upon both the Tiger and Death clans. All you have to do now is ask the other clan for permission, and then you have to specify which clan you are calling from when you summon," Byako stated. "You will have permission to summon my familiar once I place the seals on Mugen no Sora. However, to get anyone to show up from the Death clan once you perform the Kuchiyose no Jutsu summoning technique, you must go to the spirit realm, make an agreement with them for traditional reason," Shinigami stated. "How will I enter the spirit realm, and what kind of kid agreement must I make? Do I have to give my life force or something?" Naruto inquired. As he focused his power on the scythe, causing a seal array to appear on it, the Shinigami stated, "No, but certain members of the clan might ask for a tribute, usual gift, or certain items. Others require a test similar to the one you did for becoming the summoner for the Tiger clan, and others required you to do a certain ritual. You must draw and wipe some blood on the seals in order to enter the spirit realm. This is the same method for calling forth my familiars, but instead of using the Kuchiyose no Jutsu summoning technique, you must use the Hantaisoku no Hashi bride to the other side jutsu, which will open a portal to the spirit realm and slam your scythe into the ground," Shinigami stated. "Alright, what should I do now?" Hantaisoku no Hashi bride to the other side. After executing the jutsu, which caused a glowing magic circle with a throne at its center, Naruto inquired. "You need to sit on the throne at the center of the altar and it will take you there, and if anyone want to go with him they have step within the circle," said the Shinigami. Byako said, I think it is too small for me. All you need to do is touch the circle." "Oh, I almost forgot. Are there any coins on you, Naruto?" Shinigami inquired. "Why do you need to borrow money when I have some Ryo coins and notes with me?" Naruto inquired. As he vanished, the Shinigami remarked, "Well, later, I have business elsewhere, but the coins will be important for your trip." As the other followed him into the circle and Byako lay down with his paw on the circle, Naruto said, "Okay, let's get started then," and he went to sit at the throne. Naruto started to say, "Okay Wada," but was blinded by a white light. "Realm of Spirits," Naruto uttered the words. And now, as the light faded and presented a midnight world with glowing trees, wisps floating about, and their bodies encircled by an odd halo. Naruto remarked, "I suppose this is the spirit realm." In his full nine-tail form, Kurama uttered the words, "No duh," behind him. The words, "Kurama, you got big," came from Naruto. Kurama pointed to the chain that connected him and Naruto and remarked, "I suppose in this realm you appear in your true form, but I still seal inside you if this means anything." Mugen no Sora said, "That explains why I'm in my human form." "Now, what should we do?" Naruto inquired. Cloud remarked, "Find the Keyblade and defeat a dark side." "We're in the spirit realm, not my heart, Cloud.kun," said Naruto. A hooded man on the flying boat pointed down to them and said, "Actually what you have to do next is go to the clan house so you can make agreements with Shinigami Sama's familiars." "Who are you?" Naruto inquired. "I'm Karen, the ferryman and one of Shinigami Sama's familiars, and I shall take you to the clan house," said Karen. "On that boat I don't think Kurama or Byako would fit," said Naruto. With a snap of his finger, Karen declared, "There they shall stay in that form until we get there." Byako and Kurama were both in their chibi form. Naruto said, "Okay, let go," and boarded the boat. You have to pay me to get there, and you should also know that you can summon me anytime to aid you from now on. However, you have to pay in order for me to do any task you ask of me. That shall be the agreement between us," said Karen. "Well, a businessman? How much do you want?" Naruto inquired. Karen remarked, "A few coins should do." "Coin? Do you not accept cash?" Naruto inquired. "No, I only take coins due to tradition," Karen said. "All right, but I must ask, what do you do with them?" Naruto inquired. "Collect them or get drink and snack from vending machine. It helped that I have the ability to magical exchange one form of coin currency to another," replied Karen. "So I guess you would be my first summon that I can summon from the Death Clan," said Naruto. As the boat drifted away with them on board, Karen said, "Yep, now let's head out." "Omake, I believed it would improve my ninja skills." Academy Days Naruto 101 Ways of Getting Detention. Numbers 31 to 40. Number 31. Black traditional ninja dress. Why are you dressed up in that outfit, Naruto? Iruka inquired. What evidence do you have that I am Naruto, and how do you know that I am? Wearing a face mask and a traditional ninja suit, Naruto said. Because you sound like him and is sitting down at his desk, Iruka replied. With a slightly deeper voice, Naruto remarked, well, I could have been an enemy and assassinated him while also impersonating him. What kind of enemy would do all of that and come to the academy? Only you Naruto who do something this dumb and make up such a lame excuse for the fun of it, Iruka replied. Hey, it's not stupid, Naruto shot back. So, you finally acknowledged that you're Naruto? Iruka inquired. Hi, was Naruto's response. So tell me, why? Iruka inquired. We are ninjas well, ninjas in training but at the moment, it seems like our fellow ninjas have forgotten how to be ninjas. Therefore, I decided to dress up as a traditional ninja from the past to remind ourselves and others of how ninjas used to operate. This ensemble is the perfect representation of a ninja, a swift, stealthy, and lethal fighter who attacks from the shadows. Thus, by donning this, I am moving closer to becoming a better ninja, Naruto declared. Okay, that a nice speech and all but mind telling us the real reason, Iruka replied. Today is laundry day and this was the only thing I have to wear, said Naruto. What exactly do you have that for? Iruka inquired. Naruto answered, it was for the ninja parade last week. Iruka said, last week, there was no parade. A true ninja is invisible to the world, so since you didn't see any ninja during the parade we know now that it was a success, said Naruto. You making this up to waste time so that I won't any time to assign homework, Iruka said. Hi, was Naruto's response. According to Iruka, detention for being a baka. Naruto said, hi, in a sad tone. Tap. Dancing pineapples at number 32. While 3 pineapples were tapping their fruity hearts away, Naruto, still dressed in his traditional ninja attire, said, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 come move those leg. He would continue to do so for the remainder of this omake. Do these pineapples have legs, Naruto? Iruka inquired. Hi, was Naruto's response. And tap. Dancing is involved? Iruka repeated her question. Hi, was Naruto's response. Although I would like to know how, I'm more interested in the why right now, Naruto. Why are these pineapples tap? Dancing? Iruka inquired. To better myself as a ninja who is currently a ninja in training, replied Naruto. In what ways does this improve your ninja skills? Iruka inquired. Because a tap. Dancing pineapple is a strange sight to see and it will distract the enemy long enough for the pineapple to tap. Dance close to them and set off the explosive tags on them, said Naruto. That actually made sense. It makes a good enough sense that it can be the reason you are doing this, so tell me the real reason, Iruka replied. Well, the truth is that I found a supplier who could supply enough pineapple to make some Hawaiian-style pizza, but I ended up ordering too many, and I have to find something to do with the leftovers before they rot and I waste them. I decided to make a pineapple tap. Dance for fun since I've been studying seals, Naruto remarked. You have detention for doing the strangest thing I have ever seen so far, Iruka replied. Naruto answered, oh, I can do stranger things than this. I know you can anyways, they really have good footwork, Iruka replied. Thanks, said Naruto. Carrots number 33, performing the mambo. As 2 carrots with arms and legs performed the mambo, Naruto remarked, okay, swing those hip you orange abomination that I created. Are you now making dancing carrots? Iruka inquired. Yes, I wanted to see which dance better, fruit or vegetable, said Naruto. The truth is that you just didn't want to eat your veggie, Iruka replied. Naruto remarked, well, yeah, they're icky and stuff. Naruto, you have to eat your veggie or you won't grow up healthy, Iruka stated. Naruto replied, no, and you can't make me. You will, and if you don't I will shove them in your mouth. Now stop finding weird ways to play with your food and eat them, Iruka replied. Naruto started to say, you can't, but was interrupted when Iruka thrust a carrot into his mouth, causing it to dance in his mouth, not because it tasted good, but because it was one of the carrots that was performing the mambo. There, that wasn't so bad, and you have detention to remind you to eat your vegetable, Iruka replied. Because the carrot was still in his mouth, Naruto muttered, mont meat mem, I won't eat them. The statement, good you learn your lesson, was misunderstood by Iruka. Mission Impossible, number 34. While the Mission Impossible theme song played in the background, Naruto uttered the words, target acquired, while suspended above his desk during class. A little lower, Allitera. Naruto addressed the tree and Cloud, who were in charge of the pulley that held him in place. Bang! Naruto slammed down on his desk and uttered the words, "Too low." "What in Kami's name are you doing now, Naruto?" Iruka shouted. Naruto remarked, "Ninja styles, infiltrating this place." "What's the point of attending this school?" Iruka inquired. Naruto retorted, "Because all the cool ninjas are doing it." "And would you jump off the bridge like all the cool ninjas?" Iruka inquired. Naruto answered, "Hell yeah, then I can be as skilled and cool as them all." "Naruto, you have detention so you can learn when to and when not to follow the example of others," Iruka replied. "All right, but since I've heard that all the cool ninjas are doing it, may I go jump off a bridge first?" Naruto inquired. "No, have you not listened to what I just said?" As he struck Naruto's head with a book, Iruka posed the question. "Yes, it was something about making smart's choice and not follow other like a sheep, but I don't see how it is related to jumping off a bridge," Naruto replied. "Naruto, I'm really worried about you sometime, I really do," Iruka replied. Number 35. Parachuting, Geronimo. As he leapt from the Hokage monument, Naruto yelled, and halfway down, he pulled his parachute string to open it, allowing him to descend slowly to the ground. "What did I say about jumping off the Hokage monument, Naruto?" Iruka inquired. Naruto retorted, "Not to do it without adult supervision." Iruka said, "I never told you that." "Well, you should, because jumping off of high places is really stupid and dangerous. I was lucky that I have this parachute with me," said Naruto. "Where the devil did you get that parachute anyway, Naruto, and why are you in detention?" Iruka inquired. "From a secret abandoned Anbu base," was Naruto's response. With a tone of, "You are in so much trouble," Iruka remarked, "You broke into a secret abandoned Anbu base." "No, I didn't, of course. As the ANBUs were departing, I crept in," Naruto remarked. "I thought you mentioned that the Anbu base was secretly abandoned," Iruka inquired. "I consider it abandoned when some of them abandoned the place for lunch," said Naruto. "They didn't abandon it, they were on their lunch break, you baka," Iruka responded. Naruto remarked, "Same different, it's really not that different," Iruka remarked. Number 36. Taking cover in the dark, Uzumaki, Naruto. Iruka said while he was taking class roll. Naruto said, "Here Iruka," emerging from the shadow in the far right corner of the room and then returning to it. "Why aren't you sitting down, Naruto?" Iruka inquired. As he emerged from the corner behind Iruka and took another step back, Naruto remarked, "Because I am honing my skill as ninja by hiding in the shadow." "Will you stop that, Naruto?" Iruka inquired. "I can't, because it's risky for ninjas to be out in the open because they have a greater chance of being killed by the enemy," Naruto said, sticking his head out of a tile he had opened from the ceiling. "Ninja are like vampires, except that ninja are alive. Almost all of them don't drink blood, and they definitely don't sparkle." "Glow?" Iruka inquired. Naruto poked his head out from under his desk and said, "Yeah, it was in one of the books that one of the Teme fangirls left behind in class." "Have you read that book?" Iruka inquired. Naruto appeared behind Iruka on his left side and remarked, "I was so bored that I had nothing better to do than read that book during the detention when your punishment was for me to sit still in my desk and do something quiet. It was torture." "I apologize," said Iruka. Naruto appeared behind Iruka on his right side and remarked, "You should be, but after reading that book I began to wonder if Teme here is a vampire or not." Sasuke questioned, "Why would you think I am a vampire, Dobi?" Naruto, who appeared behind Sasuke, remarked, "Well, you are really pale, brooded a lot, and girls irrationally fall for you even when you are cold to them." "Please, I am way better looking than Edward, and beside I'm for Team Jacob, werewolf kickass," said Sasuke. "Well, that is really unsettling," Naruto uttered as he emerged from the shadow of an unknown individual. Half of Sasuke's fangirls said, "No, I can't be Sasuke. You have to join Team Edward." The other Sasuke fangirls said, "No, he made the right decision to join Team Jacob." "Edward? Jacob?" said the fangirls. "Naruto, you have detention for starting this meaningless argument," Iruka replied. "What?" When Teme revealed the unsettling details about himself to us, they began to argue. "I don't really care what supernatural being a flaky girl decides to be her lover. Aside from the fact that I'm not even a fan of that series." As Naruto emerged from behind the door, he remarked, "In addition to being a Harry Potter fan, you know Hogwarts for life." "Yeah, but it kind of sucked that Sirius got killed," Iruka replied. "I am aware of JK in some way." Naruto stuck his head out of Iruka's desk drawer and said, "Rolling believes she is Kami. For the Harry Potter universe that is written by her she is," Iruka replied. Naruto poked his head out the window and remarked, "Oh yeah, just like Masashi Kishimoto as Kami for the real Naruto universe. Wait, was that? Iruka inquired. What was it? Naruto asked, sticking his head out from the floor's loose, exposed wooden board. About what you said about on second thought it might be better for me if I don't know, Iruka replied. Smoke bomb number 37. Okay, everyone quiet down and find a seat so we can begin class, said Iruka. Hi, Naruto said, and then he threw a smoke bomb on the ground. When the smoke was clear, he vanished from the classroom entrance, only to have smoke shoot out of his desk. He then appeared sitting down with his arms crossed. Hopefully, Iruka won't have to deal with that. Okay, let begin, he said, ignoring what had happened. Several hours later Iruka then said, all right, lunchtime. Hi, Naruto said as he threw the smoke bomb once more before vanishing and resurfacing outside on a tree branch in a puff of smoke. Iruka whispered, don't ask, and maybe he stop. When lunch is over Naruto said, hi, as he emerged from a cloud of smoke at his desk. Iruka thought, I guess I have asked him about that soon. When class is over, all right, Naruto, why are you making appearances and disappearances today with smoke bombs? As Naruto prepared to use his smoke bomb once more, Iruka uttered those words. As he threw the smoke bomb and vanished once more, Naruto remarked, oh, because I saw a ninja appear and disappear in puff of smoke and thought it would be fun to be able to do it too. Damn it, he didn't pay attention when I told him to think for himself and not follow the bad example of others, but at least he practicing his jutsu. However, I wonder where and from who he learned the Shunshin no Jutsu. Body flicker technique. From? Iruka pondered. Is there a real jutsu that enables you to vanish and reappear in a cloud of smoke? Emerging in a puff of smoke, Naruto asked. Actually, Shunshin no Jutsu, body flicker technique, is high speed movement jutsu that make it look like you were teleported but you are actually moving really fast, and when a ninja do it something smoke appear, Iruka explained. High speed movement jutsu. Got to learn that jutsu so I can get to Ichiraku fast, which mean less time getting there and more time eating ramen, said Naruto. Wait, how are you appearing and vanishing in a puff of smoke if you were practicing Shunshin no Jutsu, body flicker technique? Iruka inquired. Oh, by throwing smoke bomb around and running really fast at inhuman speed without using chakra enhancement, replied Naruto. How can you run that fast without using chakra to strengthen your leg? Iruka inquired. With the power of ramen. Anyway, I have to go and learn the Shunshin no Jutsu, body flicker technique, so that I can get to Ichiraku faster from now on and spend more time eating ramen, Naruto said as he disappeared in a puff of smoke. Learn a jutsu so he can spend more time eating ramen, he's so getting detention for that, Iruka stated. Naruto said, hi, before vanishing in a cloud of smoke. Dramatic stare, number 38 as he rolled, Iruka uttered, Uzumaki, Naruto. Naruto turned away from the window, gazing intently at Iruka with a look that suggested he was about to initiate combat. After a few minutes, Naruto answered, here, all right, what are you doing right now? Iruka inquired. Naruto looks at Iruka so intently that it seems like he's waiting for him to do something. Sensei, what are you talking about? Naruto inquired. What are you doing, staring, pausing, and speaking all at once? Iruka inquired. Naruto looks at Iruka as if he's discovered the answer to question 42, but he didn't. I am practicing my battle stare that professional ninja do in battle, said Naruto. Have you re-watched those vintage martial arts films? Iruka inquired. Naruto looked as if he was unsure whether he had remembered to turn off the oven stove. Naruto said, yes. Okay, you have detention for this week because I don't like the look you were giving me, Iruka responded. Naruto's expression is one of confusion. What do you see? Naruto inquired. The same look that a homeless prophet give me on a mission where I and my team experience strange occurrence that we will never talk about ever again, Iruka replied. Naruto looks at Iruka as if his mind had gone into a frozen state. To which Naruto replied, okay, number 39, quiet yet deadly. As he rolled, Iruka uttered, Uzumaki, Naruto. Naruto gave a, here, expression. All right, what are you doing right now? Iruka inquired. Naruto gave a look that gave the impression that he was practicing silence like a ninja. So you can be quiet when you need to be quiet, huh? Iruka inquired. Naruto's expression was, yes, I can, but I usually choose not to be. In any case, how do you know the non-talk look language? I have a friend who is a mute. Anyways, you have detention this week, Iruka replied. The expression on Naruto's face was, For what reason? For all the time I want you to be quiet but you didn't, Iruka replied. Naruto says with a look that reads, I get into trouble the one time I choose to be quiet in class. Straw dummy number 40 as he rolled, Iruka uttered, Uzumaki, Naruto. Here was the only response from a straw dummy dressed in the same black outfit that Naruto wore throughout this omake. Damn it, Naruto. How long has your detention been in effect for missing class again? Iruka inquired. Before class began, is now displayed on a sign held by the straw dummy. How do the signs change? Iruka inquired. There was a sign that read, Ancient Ninja Secret, now held by the straw dummy. Alright, straw dummy, where is Naruto? Iruka inquired. I became self-aware and eliminated the original to take his place, so I'm Naruto now mwa ha 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 ha, the straw dummy now holds. Iruka, dumbfounded, stares at the straw dummy. Psyche, I'm just kidding. The real Naruto is at Ichiraku eating ramen, the straw dummy now held. Would it be okay if I went to check? Iruka remarked as she slowly walked away. A sign that read, No, go ahead and tell the original to hurry so that he can give me the mask with me eating ramen. I kind of getting hungry, is now held by the straw dummy. Iruka said, all right, I'll just leave now. Okay, goodbye, was written on a sign that was now held by the straw dummy. Realm of spirits as he and the other travel above the land of the spirit realm. Naruto remarked, spirit realm the final frontier. Final in the sense that you come here when your life has finally ended. These are the voyages of the passengers on Karen's boat, while seated in the front seat watching out. How come Shinigami Sama always pick the weird ones to be our summoner? Well, consider what Shinigami Sama is like, and most of the beings in the clan are like it should be expected, Karen murmured. Hey ferryman, after I meet the clan members can I go and visit my parents, Ero, Seishin, Hikari, Haim, Hashi, Oji-san and Tobi? Oji-san? Asked Naruto. No, you can't because they're all up in heaven. Even Nanashi, it turns out that his perverted ways were not bad enough to send him to the other place. Well, that not true, actually your father could be there or he could be at the office doing paperwork for Shinigami Sama or somewhere here in the spirit realm doing some manual labor, replied Karen. Wait, the spirit realm is different from the afterlife? Asked Naruto. Yes, the spirit realm is different from the afterlife. Let me give you a brief introduction to the kind of realms that we in Shinigami Sama work in. First there is the physical or natural world that the living, you, existed in. Next there is afterlife, heaven and hell, where souls go when they move on. Then there is the spirit realm, which is the mirror reflection of the natural world where the vast majority of earthbound spirits live in, and also where the doorway to purgatory, the place between life and death, is it, Karen said while pointing to the diagram that appears out of nowhere. Oh, I thought that I could see how they are doing right now, but I guess I can't, Naruto replied. Well, I can take and give you message from them, after all I can travel between those realms. It is the advantage of being the ferryman for souls of the departed, said Karen. Really, thanks, said Naruto. No problem, I am one of your summons after all, so as long as you pay me I will do the job you ask of me, he replied. Naruto remarked, you and your coins, Karen remarked, hey, I have to follow tradition now, don't I? Compound of the Death Clan. The boat went down close to the big structure that was the Death Clan compound. A massive house. Sized 3-headed dog that watches over the enormous door behind it welcomed the guests. Cerberus informed the others to gather at the town center so that they can meet our new summoner, said Karen. All three of Cerberus' heads said, so you are the one that is chosen by Shinigami Sama, huh? It was more of an accident than a choice anyways. I'm guessing you are a member of the Death Clan. So what kind of agreement do I have to make with you in order for you to show up when I summon you? Replied Naruto. None, I automatically aid anyone who is chosen by Shinigami Sama, even if it by accident, in any ways that I can. My skills are in the field of offense, especially against large opponent or a group of smaller opponents. Now let's go and meet everyone else, the head of Cerberus said as he opened the door. When the group reached the town center, they were met by a variety of Death Clan creatures. Okay, now that everyone is here, meets our new summoner, Naruto. We will now go around and each representative will tell him about your group and what agreement he can make with them, said Karen. Jack, a jet black dog with pale white bone armor, blue flame coming out of its mouth, and glowing blue flaming eyes, said, I shall go first. My name is Jack and I am the alpha of the Hellhound pack. We are skilled in tracking and hunting. For the right to have us aid you in battle, we request that you summon us to the physical world so we can roam it freely from time to time. Okay, I'm fine with that. Besides, having a pack of specter dogs will probably freak people more than the time that I have Kato walk with me through town, Naruto replied. Phantom, a skeletal horse with bat-like wings, said, "You are a mischievous one, aren't you? Anyway, my name is Phantom, and I am the leader of the Pale Steed herd. We provide transportation. Our requirements are the same as Jack's." "Sure, coming into battle with you guys would be epic," said Naruto. "Same with us, I am Night Leader of Death's Messenger. We specialize in illusion and act as messenger bird. Night, a black bird with a dancing shadow, said. Greeting Naruto. Sama, I am Shade, the leader of the Grave's Guardian. We specialize in defense and creating barrier. As the name suggested, we guard the grave of the dead, so for our arrangement we request you to summon us when you visit a graveyard and burial ground in order for us to bless the place. Shade, a gloomy specter wearing a white while bowing his head. I'm Alexander, one of the fallen. We are warrior who has not yet find peace because we didn't die a warrior's death. So until we fight enough battles to earn a warrior's death, we shall remind to aid you in battle. The required we ask of you is to spar with us from time to test our skills as well as your. Alexander, an armored skeleton, said. Soul, the Biju. Sized skeleton dragon with blue flame running through its body, said, and finally me. I'm Soul, head of the Death Dragon and the powerhouse of the Death Clan. The requirement for me and my kind is that you pass our test in order for us to assist you. What kind of test? Inquired Naruto. I will look at your soul and see if it meets our standards. Now do I have your permission to do so? The soul asked. Naruto said, go ahead, while Soul's blue eyes glared at him. I see that you endure many hardship and burden, yet you don't let them drag you down. You are a fierce warrior at heart but bear a kind heart too. Also you are really weird, have a strange obsession for ramen, prank and bid for red bean soup, and for the most part you are either half sane or half insane. Depend on how you look at it, but you are a good person by ninja standard anyways. So all thing considering, I find you are worthy in my eyes, so me and my kind will aid you in battle, Soul continued. Naruto uttered the words, great, I can't wait to summon you all. Yes, it seems like we befriend some good allies here, Byako replied. Anyway, take this time to get to know each other, then you have to go back to physical world, said Karen. Returning to the real world, Naruto declared, I'm alive, as he returned to the physical world. Ju remarked, you were never dead, I consider out of body experience or astral projection to be half dead, so what I said counts, he said. Sasuke enters the clearing and asks, Dobi, there you are. I brought you some breakfast since you ate that a giant tiger? Well, I said it is a titan-sized tiger, but if you can make an argument for your opinion I might take your side and go with giant, Naruto replied. Sasuke questioned, it's a summons, isn't it? Well, unless there are a race of titan-sized tiger running around that I don't know about, then yeah, it is a summon, Naruto replied. He repeated, and it's your right? I didn't conceive him, but I'm his summoner. So do you want a summons too? Replied Naruto. Sasuke said, you're going to let me sign the tiger contract? Hell no, tigers are my thing. I was thinking of chickens, they will definitely complement with your hairstyle, Naruto replied. Yeah, your hair might cause some problem like you getting eaten by us because we mistake you for an actually chicken, Byako replied. Eye twitching, Sasuke said, I'm not going to choose chickens as my summons, and I'm going to lay off my hair. Fine, let me check my storage warehouse to see what I have, Mikona key please, Naruto replied. Okay, Mikona said, opening his mouth to release a keyblade. Okay, let's kick some heartless butt, Naruto said, striking a keyblade pose. He pointing to the keyblade, he said, sorry anyways, Naruto's storage warehouse, as a beam of light emerged from its tip, revealing a door. When Sasuke asked, what is that? A door to a subspace universe that hold an entire city that linked to me by Mikona. It is something that I was given as a gift for working with Mikona here, Naruto stated. Why don't I get a key that opened a door to a subspace universe that hold an entire city? Sasuke murmured. Because you are too emo to be the hero of the story, Mikona replied. I'm not emo, and what this about being the hero of the story? Asked the man. Something that you do not understand because you do not understand nor believe in the fourth wall theory, Mikona replied. Naruto said, stop trying to define the universe and get going, as he entered the room with the other gang members. Bob 1, or Storage Warehouse District, is another name for subspace universes. Sasuke questioned, why is your subspace universe called Bob 1? Naruto, don't know, asks Mikona, he said. Hey, why didn't you answer the why question with, because I am a ninja and a ninja is a master of things you always do? Sasuke inquired. Because it stopped being funny a long time ago, and if Ero Sation doesn't like the fact that I stopped doing it, he can sue me, Naruto replied. Heaven. Okay, my almost corrupted pupil stops following rule number 1 that I asked of him, so he stopped answering why questions with the Because I am a ninja and a ninja is a master of things, so now I must hire some angel lawyer and sue him, Nanashi yelled. Besides, that joke stopped being funny a long time ago, Hikari said, slapping Nanashi in the back of the head. Arrow. Baka, stop being an idiot and let him be. Nanashi remarked, all right, but I'm still going to corrupt him from here. Fine, but if he end up a super pervert like you, I will kill you, then you will be sent to heaven so that I can beat you up for eternity. I wonder why you are not getting kicked out of here for corrupting the innocents, Hikari replied. Oh, because it will be really boring without him here, and beside he not doing much harm here, Kami replied. Hikari questioned, can I still beat him for being a pervert? Kami responded, sure, we encourage it. Naruto, you were thinking perverted thought. Naruto, you were thinking perverted thought. Nanashi said, sending a corrupting wave to his student, earning him a beating from Hikari. The storage warehouse district of Bob 1. Naruto yells to the sky, damn it, Arrow. Seishin, stop trying to corrupt me. It's hard enough with me going through puberty. Sasuke inquired, what was that about? As they entered through the armory door, Naruto questioned, nothing you want to know about. Anyways, why did we name our subspace universe Bob 1, Makona? Because Steven 1 was taken, and also it was too long of a name, replied Makona. When Sasuke said, that make no sense whatsoever. As he entered another door marked seal tags and scrolls, Naruto remarked, since we are ninjas, we are not required to make sense. In any case, let me stop by somewhere first before we get you a summons. Sasuke inquired, how big is this place? Naruto said, don't know. I was right, it is here, as he took a pack of tags from a cabinet under the explosive tags shelf. Sasuke questioned, what are they? Special explosive tags called Meteor Rain Bomb. Want some? Replied Naruto. Sasuke questioned, sure, but what do they do? I really need to take an inventory of this place because I almost forgot about these tags I made. Okay, let's pick a summons for you, Naruto said as he walked out of the room and toward the shelves marked summon scrolls. Make it rain explosive meteors like fireball. Sasuke questioned, how did you get so many summoning scrolls? Bets, fallen shinobis, various places around the village, deals with lost summons, also the lost and found bin, replied Naruto. Now which summon to give you? Chicken, squirrel, rabbit, bear, lion, mouse? Oh, I know hawk. So I just have to sign the hawk contract and get to summon them? Asked Sasuke. Well, after you sign the contract you will require either pass their test or do something for them in order to be able to summon them, Naruto replied. Sasuke questioned, what do I have to summon hawks? Don't know, let get out, have you sign it and summon one to find out, said Naruto. Outside later. This breakfast sandwich that Tsunami made is really good, Naruto remarked while perched atop Byaku's head. When Byaku said, you should ask her for the recipe. I think I will, said Naruto. As Sakura and Team 10 entered the clearing, Kakashi questioned, there you are Naruto, are you sitting on top of a titan-sized tiger? Naruto yelled, take that Teme, he was a titan-sized tiger, as I told you. Kakashi inquired, speaking of Sasuke, where is he? Well, Naruto started. Sasuke screamed, now is not the right time, baka, as he sped past on a hawk that was flying quickly through the air. Oh, he is nearby, hanging out with a new friend he made, Naruto replied. I see, said Kakashi. Together, Ino and Sakura exclaimed, oh my god, Sasuke-kun got kidnapped by a hawk and he going to get eaten. First of all, it is Kami, if you going to commit blasphemy, pick the deity that you worship. Secondly, the hawk wouldn't eat Teme because he all emo and emo don't taste good from what I hear, said Naruto. I am not emo, Sasuke exclaimed as he zipped by once more. Sakura defended her crush by saying, Baka, Sasuke-kun doesn't taste bad, he is quite delicious. I was joking about the whole raping thing, I didn't know you actually committed the act already, Naruto replied. I didn't mean it like that, I was just defending him, Sakura replied. Naruto stated, sure you were, without being persuaded. Kakashi said, so that tiger you on is your summon, right? Yep, said Naruto. Kakashi repeated the question, and the hawk is Sasuke? Well, if he doesn't fall in the next few minutes and live, then yes, Naruto replied. Kakashi inquired, where did you two get your contact from? I got my from my tiger friend Kato, while Teme got his from me, which I found. Well, more like it found me because I got it when it fell from the sky and hit me on the head when I was walking around one day, said Naruto. Okay, forgetting the weirdness that is your life, any reason why you just handed Sasuke a summoning contract? Kakashi inquired. Truth be told, I thought it would be entertained to give him one, and it is, Naruto replied. The hawk said, okay kid, you pass, I will tell the others about you, before being lost in a cloud of smoke. His two fangirls went to check on him after Sasuke passed out and said, never again, with spiral eyes. Byako said, well, I have to get going too, before disappearing into a cloud of smoke. Kakashi pulled out his book to read and said, well, once Sasuke wakes up, we can head to the bridge and take turns guarding or training. The hideout of Zabuza. Okay, let me get this straight, you met the annoying blonde hair idiot with a death wish who was one of Kakashi's students in the wood? Asked Zabuza. Yes, Zabuza. Sama, said Haku. He somehow found out that you were the fake hunter. Nin. That you have the hide in Keke Genke and that you were working for me, but instead of killing you, he let you go? He inquired once more. Hi, said Haku. But not before warning us that Gato is going to betray us and offer to aid us to overthrow the fourth Mizukage if we let the bridge builder live. Help them eliminate Gato and let him expand his business in Kirigakure, Zabuza said. Huh, said Haku. Zabuza inquired, did I miss anything? Other than the fact that he has special powers from the Shinigami, let me meet my dearly departed mother and can see spirits and into our souls? Asked Haku. Yes, but I'm going to ignore those things for now because they are too crazy to deal with right now, Zabuza replied. Well, as I was leaving, I think I hear him said something about me being too pretty to be a guy. Also, I felt a chakra spike, and when I turned around I saw a titan-sized tiger standing around where I met him, Haku continued. Titan-sized tiger might be his summon, and if he able to summon something that size, it might pose a problem if we have to fight him. As for the pretty comment, I quite agree. Sometime I have to remind myself that you are a guy. You really need a haircut and wear more manly clothes. I know you like to cross dress and all. I have no problem with that, but it doesn't hurt to wear something more masculine, said Zabuza. Haku gritted his teeth and remarked, I don't like to cross dress it, just that I don't mind. Anyway, the kid must be really insane if he willing to negotiate with someone that was trying to kill him and me for that matter if I going to accept the deal, Zabuza stated. Snow, who was being held by Haku, remarked, from what the wind elementals told me of him, he borderline insane. Zabuza questioned, Haku, what the hell is that? It is a doll, Zabuza. Sama, explained Haku. Zabuza questioned, I can see that, but why and how is it talking? Well, the kid, Naruto-san, give me this doll here for Snow-san, who is an ice elemental, to possess so that we can contact and communicate with Naruto-san through him, Haku replied. Zabuza sighed, I need a drink or more bed rest, maybe both. Anyway, why did you bring it with you here, Haku? For all we know, it can have a tracking seal on it or might be a trap, Zabuza continued. Well, he mentioned something about his wind elemental allies tailing us and scanning the area, so worry about a tracking seals is pointless since he can find us easy, Haku replied. As for me being a trap, that is ridiculous because the wind elementals told me that if he wanted you two to be dead, this place would have been level already, Snow replied. What make your windy friends think the kid can kill us that easily? Asked Zabuza. Something about 1,000 upon 1,000 kage Bunshin no Jutsu, shadow clone technique. Bunshin Deibakuha, shadow clone explosion. And his strange obsession with blowing things up, Snow explained. Zabuza questioned, they're kidding, right? Nope, they're surprised that he hasn't destroyed a village yet. The biggest thing he leveled so far is an average-sized bandit's fortress, Snow replied. Not liking the thought of being blown up, Zabuza thought, well, not being the enemy of someone who can create an infinite number of bombs seems beneficial to my health, but how do we know that he can follow through on his promise to fund our cause? He is the owner of Happy Wacky Snack amount other industry, Snow stated. What Happy Wacky Snack? The maker of my favorite shrimp flavor seafood paradise chip, said Zabuza. And minty mint chocolate chip cookies, Zabuza. Sama, we can't let anything happen to him or our favorite snack food will disappear, Haku wept. If Naruto Sama ever wanted to take over the world, it would be really easy for him to do, consider how much power his snack food has, Snow said. This feeling, damn it, they're here. Hey you two, it looked like Gato hired two really dangerous people and they are coming here. It is best for both of us if they don't know about Naruto Sama, so I will pretend be a doll until they are gone or until I think otherwise. Haku started to say, Snow-san, what do you but was cut off when Gato and the others entered through the open door. Gentlemen, after your failure attempt and the loss of 2 of your men, I thought it was necessary to hire a few helping hand, Gato replied. Zabuza stated, we don't require assistance from any other ninja. Good, because I am nothing as savage or as ignorant as you ninja are. I, Dr. Victor von Frankenstein, am a man of science, a goggle man wearing a white lab coat and suffering from facial and body stitches, said as he bowed. His smile sent shivers down their spine. And you Momochi Zabuza Kirigakure no Kijin, demon of the hidden mist, or a fine specimen, I really want to dissect you in order to study every aspect of you, he said. As he gazed at Snow, he remarked, though not as interesting as your hide and user friend here and that doll he is holding, adding that it made him appear even more girly than he already was. And we are not imperfect as you human are, a distorted voice from one of the 5 cybernetic robotic samurai said. To the left, the armored one merely spoke, we are better than you. We are perfection, the first person to speak from the right said. We are legion, said the person distantly to the left. For we are many, the final one said. As he and the newly hired employee departed, Gadu said, now I want you all to go to the bridge as soon as possible and finish the bridge builder once and for all. The one with the stitches is really creepy, and why were the armor ones speaking as if they were one person? Haku inquired. According to Snow, because they are, Haku said. Snow.san, do you know who they are? The question you should ask is not who but what, for you can't consider those abominations human after how they defile life in the natural order, Snow said. The doll is right. Asking what they are is the right question, and here I thought they were nothing more than urban myth, ghost stories that are told to frighten little Jennins. For it to be standing there right in front of you is unnerving, said Zabuza. As for your question, Haku, the one with the stitches is Victor von Frankenstein, also known as the mad scientist and the harvester of body parts. The ones in the armor is Legion, known as the Undying Army or the Immortal Army. And from what I can tell, they are defiantly not here because of Gadu money. They are immoral, an immortal being that steals the life force of other. I will have one of the wind elementals inform Naruto. Sama of them, Snow stated. Zabuza asked, what can the kid do about those things? Most likely not much, but Shinigami choose him for a reason. Well, somewhat chooses him, but the only one with a chance to deal with them is him, Snow stated. Something tells me that I won't have much of a choice, and mostly likely I will end up taking the kid's deal, Zabuza murmured. You're making it sound like a bad thing, said Snow. Then Zabuza retorted, and you claim he is borderline insane. You make a good point there, asserted Snow, on the bridge. Naruto pumped his fist in the air as he flew through the air, saying, Achoo, damn it, someone is taking about me behind my back again. Anyways, Yahoo. I finally did it without crash or hitting a tree. N. Disclaimer. The song, I Believe I Can Fly, by R. Kelly is not mine. Naruto screamed as he ducked a lightning strike. Bow before my awesomeness, landwalkers, for I am the Sky Lord. Now since I'm up here there is only one thing to do. I believe I can fly, I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly, ah, ah. As he charged his Chikudo with electricity, Sasuke uttered the words, "There'll be no singing," on the ground. You're just jealous that I have a better singing voice than you, Naruto said. Naruto yelled, you aren't you? Well, who would have expected you of all people can sing, Sasuke replied. He does have point there, you really have good vocals, Kakashi stated. I've been taking singing lesson from Cloud.kun for some time now, Naruto replied. Those lessons were really worth it and we got 2 hit albums from the band we were in to prove it, Shoji stated. Ah yes, one of the crazy shenanigans we got ourselves into, Naruto said, recalling the past. You mean one of the crazy shenanigans you got us into because you were bored? Do you remember how troublesome that one Christmas misadventure was? Said Shikamaru. What happened? Inquired Ino. That story is for another time anyways, it's not my fault that I have the attention span of a goldfish. Ooh, that cloud looked like a bunny rabbit, said Naruto. Man, being up here is really amazing, you can see so much of the world. I wonder if this is why Kurama Ni.san true form is so big, Naruto thought. I told you to stop calling Ni.san Baka.kit, Kurama responded on the ground using telepathy. And I'm big because I am a living mass of chakra, not because I like the view I get from being that size. Yep, Kurama Ni.san true form is so big is because of the view, said Naruto. Kurama snarled, don't go and decide how I think, Baka.kit. Sorry to bother your brotherly bonding moment, Naru.kun, Cloud replied. Kurama snarled, we are neither bonding nor brothers. But I just received a message from Snow.kun, Cloud stated, disregarding Kurama's objections. Naruto said, okay, what the message? Snow.kun encounters the immortals that Shin Sama warns us about, Cloud responded. Naruto inquired, really, who are they? The mad scientist Victor von Frankenstein and the Undying Army Legion, replied Cloud. Well crap, this is really bad. Oh well, better tell everyone after dinner because bad news is better taken with a full stomach, or was that alcohol's, Naruto thought. The home of Tazuna. Okay, now that everyone has eaten it would be easier to digest what I have to tell you next, said Naruto. What is it? Inquired Kakashi. I just received some bad news from Snow.kun, the spirit that I sent to be our contact with Zabuza so we can strike a deal with him to get him on our side to take out Gadu, Naruto stated. When did you do this? Inquired Kakashi. This morning when I met the fake hunter. Nin, Haku. I sent snow with him when we parted, Naruto replied. Kakashi questioned, why did you do that instead of taking him as a hostage? Well, if my plan worked, our job become easier. I gain more political power and expand my business to Kirigakure. If not, then we just be back where we started, said Naruto. Kakashi asked, okay, so I guess the bad news is that he didn't take the deal? No, that not it, he hasn't decided yet. The actually bad news is something else, but before I tell everyone we must be on the same page, which mean that everyone should know the truth about Kurama ni San. When I said everyone I mean Ino, Tazuna and his family, Naruto replied. Kurama snarled, Kit stops it with the ni San crap. Naruto said, well, how about Furball? No way, snarled Kurama. Okay Fuzzy. But, said Naruto. Kit, shouted Kurama. Wait, Shikamaru and Choji know about it. I understand that Sasuke and Sakura know because they're your teammate and were with us doing the council meeting, but how do they know? Kakashi inquired. Well, I kind of told them to try and end our friendship so that they don't receive the village's spite for associating with me, but it didn't work out that way, Naruto replied. We will never stop being your friend over something like that, Choji replied. Tisk, as troublesome as your situation is, it is more troublesome to end our friendship because of that, said Shikamaru. Okay, what is the big secret and why am I the only ninja here that doesn't know it? Asked Ino. It is an S-rank secret that only the Hokage or Naruto can talk or tell others about, though I didn't expect him to actually tell anyone about it. I wonder if you told Choji and Shikamaru about it. Who else did you tell? Asuma responded. Just all the genin on Team 8 and Lee. Senpai, Naruto replied. Kakashi questioned, guys, Mini. Clone knows too, huh? Yeah, I kind of got caught in the moment when Bushy Brow Senpai and I made a promise to fulfill our goal no matter what was standing in our way. It was quite a youthful moment, Naruto laughed. No. You are my student and are on my team, so you are supposed to have a cool and hip attitude like me. Aw, damn it. You got me talking like them now, Kakashi responded. Enough with the crazy and tell me, what is this S-rank secret and why I'm the last one to know, Ino asked. You know it is an S-rank secret, so you can't gossip about it unless you want to permanently remove your head from your body. Knowing that, do you still want to know? Replied Naruto. Yes, I promise I won't tell anyone, not like I have a choice, Ino replied. Same goes for you and your family Tazuna, you guys can step out until we done if you want, Naruto replied. Nah, we won't betray your trust after everything you done for us, Tazuna replied. Naruto blushed slightly as everyone else took the blame. Okay. The super big secret is that I really like Hinata-chan when she dress up in a maid's outfit, and when she does that I can't help but hug her while thinking how cute she is, Naruto said. Oh, also Kurama here is the Kyuubi no Yoko, 9. Tail Demon Fox. That attacked Konoha on the day that I was born because some evil villain was being all evil and villainy by extracting Kurama from the last host, my mother, putting him under a genjutsu and forcing him to attack the village, which got Kurama here seal it his new host me, Naruto said while sipping on a cup of tea and drops of sweat fell on them. Baka.kit, mumbled Kurama. What? Exclaimed Ino. With tears in his eyes, Kakashi said, ah, yes, cute girls in maid's clothes. I understand the feeling. You are definitely my student and you make me proud to be your sensei. But did you have to say the second part like it was a trivial matter? Kakashi deadpanned. I thought it would make taking in the news much easier, said Naruto. He's joking, right? I know that the fox there can talk and all, but it can't be the Kyuubi. I mean, it only has one tail, and if he is, why the hell did you set it free? Ino responded. Kurama ni San is really the Kyuubi. He only have one tail now because he only have access to level 1 of his power, so he is in his chibi form or one tail form, said Naruto. Kakashi inquired, how many levels can he access? I can grant him all his power, which means he can get back his true from the 9 tail form. So 9 levels, but I have yet to find a reason to go that far, said Naruto. Well, for the fun of it, you can do it, Kurama offered. As fun as it is to freak the villager with the sight of a fully power Kyuubi, I don't want to get kicked out of Konoha for give half the villager a heart attack. Also, he not free because his chakra is still sealed inside me, but I can let his soul stretch his legs from time to time, said Naruto. All thing considering, Ino is taking this well, though I was kind of hoping she would have a major freak out, then it would be funnier than Hinata reaction, Choji stated. Naruto glared at Kurama and remarked, yeah, Hinata-chan reaction, I remember how you take advantage of her arrow, Kitsune. Hey, I was the one who was taken advantage of, and if you wanted to use her chest as pillow all you have to do is ask. I bet she wouldn't mind, Kurama replied. Naruto uttered the words, damn it, what with pervert trying to corrupt me, to heaven. Kakashi wisely remarked, it is the path all man must walk, so Naruto joined the perverted side. We have smut, which caused everyone to look at him oddly. I mean, why was it necessity to tell everyone about Kurama being Seal Inu? To understand why I was almost killed by a mob of Konoha's villagers at the age of 5, which caused me to meet both Kurama and the Shinigami and learn of the gift and burden I carry. To understand gravity of the bad news I'm about to tell you, all I need to start at the beginning, and the beginning starts there, Naruto said before continuing. You see, as far as I can remember, I was able to see things that other couldn't, things such as ghost and spirit. I never know why until that day when the Shinigami told me of my Kekkei Genkais. One of which let me see ghost as a side effect by having it, which I accidentally gained from him when I was unintentionally exposed by his essence during the sealing. Whoa. Having a demon seal in you. Gaining a Kekkei Genkai from the Shinigami, your life is full of surprises, isn't? Next you will be telling us that you are the heir of some important clan, prince of a fallen nation, or maybe you're the lost son of the 4th Hokage, Ino continued. Well, since I'm the only known Uzumaki in Konoha, that makes me automatically the heir of the Uzumaki clan. Also, Konoha's shinobi uniforms and flask jackets carry the Uzushigokure symbol due to Uzumaki clan being a distant relatives of the Senju clan. However, the fact that my grandpa Uzu was the leader of Uzushigokure doesn't mean that I am the prince of the fallen village of Uzushio, right? Replied Naruto. It kind of does, stated Kakashi. Damn it, well, I can't let my assassins know about this or they will be more active in their attempt, said Naruto. For the last time, Naruto, those girls are not assassins, they're fan girls, but it is true that they will be more active if they learn about this, Kakashi stated. And the lost son of the 4th Hokage, inquired Ino, who was not convinced by what she believed. Damn, I though she forgot about that well arrow. Kakashi. Sensei. Replied Naruto. We can't answer that question because of another S-rank secret, Kakashi responded. Wow, just wow. And here I thought Sasuke-kun was the one who was a mysterious, but we learn of all kind of secrets surrounding Naruto, Ino replied. Teme is not a mysterious, he really simple to understand. After all, it only takes one look at him and you know that he is an emo antsy duck. Butt-haired boy with a brother complex, Naruto stated. Glaring at Naruto, Sasuke exclaimed, Dobi. Also some anger problem too. Now back to our conversation. After learning about my Kekkei Genkais from the Shinigami, I was told that in order for me to keep my gift from the Shinigami, I must fulfill my duty to him, which is in a sense to maintain the natural order of life and death. My duties range from small things like helping souls move on to the afterlife, because too many of their presence can distort the world somewhat, to big thing like sending back any evil spirits that escape from hell who tend to cause major problem for us, said Naruto. But that's the spiritual side of things. They're also the living aspects of things, in which the livings cause trouble by messing with cycle of life and death. They do this by stealing the life force of other to prolong their own life or to attain immortality. When I come across a person or being like them, I am required to take them down and executed them for their crime. So you are telling us this because the bad news you have for us involved your duty to the Shinigami, said Shikamaru. Yes, the bad news that Snow.kun informs me is that 2 of the immortals that are on the Shinigami hit list, that the Shinigami himself warned me beforehand that they were in the area, are now working for Gato, Naruto replied. Kakashi inquired, and do you know who these 2 immortals are? Naruto's response, yes, the mad scientist Victor von Frankenstein and the Undying Army Legion, caused the 2 Jonin to go pale at the news, while the Genin and non-shinobi displayed a puzzled expression. Kakashi remarked, holy log, they exist and they're here. I thought Dad told me those stories to scared me. I can't believe they're real, Asuma stated. According to Sasuke, okay, what going and who are these 2 anyways? I can't really give you a clear answer to that because what I know about them are only legend and rumors, but maybe Naruto have something on them since he works for the Shinigami, Kakashi replied. Of course, since the Shinigami have me trained to deal with these kinds of things, he forces Obito to teach me all about my potential enemies. Obito bring the scrolls that have the data on them and I will tell the others what I know, Naruto replied. Obito said, okay, and a stack of scrolls materialized with a wave of his wing. Let's see. Victor von Frankenstein was once a brilliant man of science, but his obsession with the inner working of life to the point of being able to create it and unlocking humanity's full potential drove him to madness. He turns to grave robbing and murder to collect corpse and body parts for his experiments and his homunculus, artificial created human. Now who know about Jongu, Earth Grudge Fear? Asked Naruto. Kakashi remarked, I heard it is some kind of kinjutsu of Takigakure. Yes, it is a kinjutsu of Takigakure, and what it does is it makes the user's user body into something like a rag doll. With it they can extend their life by stealing organs, like hearts, and integrating them into their own body, giving them a form of immortality. They can even gain the elemental affinities of the person who they stole the organs from, Naruto stated. So are you saying that this Victor von Frankenstein know the Jongu, Earth grudge fear? Troublesome, Shikamaru replied. No, the Jongu, Earth grudge fear, is the bastardization of the discovery that he made with his experiments. He discovers the equation of life and created the Kenja no Shiki, philosopher's formula. It does the same thing as the Jongu, Earth grudge fear, plus more. With it he can seal the essences and memories of the person whose organ he is stealing it from in that organ. By doing so he gain all the techniques and knowledge of the owner of the organ. And not only does he gain the elemental affinities of the stolen organs, but he can also combine them, creating advanced elemental transformation like Hyoden, ice release, or Yogen, lave release, that normally take a Kekkei Genkai to do, Naruto replied. Wow, the thought of facing some that powerful is scary. No wonder Asuma Sensei and Kakashi Sensei are afraid, Shoji stated. Well, hearing what he can do does scare me senseless, but what we were afraid of is the other moniker that he goes by, Asuma continued. His other moniker? What's so scary about a name he goes by? Asked Sasuke. Naruto said, the harvester of body parts is the other moniker that he goes by because he enjoys dissecting his victim and collecting their body part for his experiments, nearly costing them their lunch. Sakura hesitantly said, okay, I might regret this, but what about the other Immortal Legion? What do you know about him? The Undying Army Legion, also known as the Immortal Army, is a genius of sealing and technology, but he despised the entire human race, viewing it as flawed and imperfect to the point that he rejected his own humanity. So in the end he built himself a new long-lasting mechanical body of metal and machinery and sealed his consciousness in it, said Naruto. So he to fight a metal man, it tough but nothing compared to the other guy, Ino stated. There's a reason both of his moniker has the word army in it. He traveled in a group of 4 or 5 durable mechanical soldiers, but each soldier has a copy of his consciousness sealed in them, so they all share the same mind. But these 4 or 5 legions are just a fraction of him, because there is an entire city that is said to house millions of him, so if one of the bodies falls there's a battalion of them ready to replace the one that fallen, hence the Undying Army. Also each of the body used to be human, a person until Legion converted them, as he put it. He suppresses their consciousness deep within their mind when he sealed his own in them and used their life force as a power source to power the new body, Naruto continued. And since both of them are working for Gato, we will be facing them, troublesome, said Shikamaru. Naruto said solemnly, yep, so now this C-rank mission turns B to A-rank mission is now an S-rank mission, as the gravity of the situation caused the room to fall silent. Naruto grinned broadly as he said, I knew I was awesome. And now getting an S-rank mission when I am a genin fresh out of the academy proves it. Baka, do you know how bad thing or why are you not freaking out? Asked Sakura. Of course I know how bad thing are, but freaking out doesn't help with the situation. Beside I going to have to face them someday since I am employer of the Shinigami. It just happened sooner than I expected, casually replied Naruto. Are you really suicidal or something? How can you be so nonchalant about this? We could all die, Sakura responded. May I work for the incarnation of death and been at his door so much that the idea of it barely faze me anymore. If I going to go I will go big and take as many sucker with me as I can, then I can kick it in the afterlife or be reincarnate into some awesome, said Naruto. Well, unless you have a great plan or something, kicking it in the afterlife is what mostly will happen here, Shikamaru replied. Well, I'm more of think on your feet kind of guy and not the plan ahead kind of person, but the Shinigami did let me sign his awesome summoning contact, Naruto replied. Asuma inquired, so you can summon the Shinigami into battle? Naruto remarked, no, just his familiars. Kakashi inquired, and what are the Shinigami's familiars? A ferryman for the dead, a giant 3-head dog, a pack of furious hellhounds, a herd of winged skeleton horse, a flock of illusion-casting birds, a bunch of barrier-casting shadows, an army of skeleton warrior and a Biju-sized specter dragon, said Naruto. Okay, we might survive this after all, Kakashi remarked. Why bother, what you are doing only will get you killed, Inari replied. Naruto remarked, whatever kid, I'm not like you. Well, I'd hate to be like you, Inari said. Naruto glared at Inari and stated, well, I'd hate to be like you, not only are you a coward but also an ungrateful baka, with the intention of killing. You sit there playing the tragic hero dwelling over all the bad things that happen in your life while at the same time you don't appreciate the good things enough to protect them. So what if your father is dead? At least he loved you enough to die fighting for a better life for you, and you repay him by spiting on his sacrifice. Gato may control this country but he hasn't won yet because your grandpa here is still fighting to give this land a better life, to give you a better life while you do nothing but cry your eyes out. You don't know anything, acting carefree and all, you don't know what it's like to suffer, Inari replied. You want some pity now, Well, sorry, mister, I have a grandfather who's risked his life for me and my mother who's is still alive to give me hugs and tell me everything is alright, but I'm all out pity. Until you have to dig through garbage to find scrape of food so you don't starve to death. Until you have to stand outside in blistering cold because the orphanage kick you out. Until you hate your own birthday because you despise being born in this world. Until you ask Kami why he forsaken you to a life of hate, sorrow and loneliness. Until your sob story is 10 times worse than all those crap I went through. I don't want to hear you preach about suffering because compared to me I would die for a life like yours, Naruto said, glaring straight into Inari's eyes, increasing his slowly but surely. Naruto said, you can sit there and cry, but that won't change a thing, as he stood up. But if you get tired of crying, you can take this kunai and fight back, he said, slamming the kunai into the table before making his way to the door. Kakashi inquired, where are you going, Naruto? I'm going to blow off some steam so that I won't lose my head and do something I will regret later, like beat the kid to a bloody pulp, Naruto said as he left. Kaiza said, you know he right, crying won't change anything, as she appeared in his presence. Dad? Asked Inari. Kaiza, a startled Tsunami exclaimed. How? Inquired Tazuna. Well, the kid, Naruto, thought it was time I speak with you guys, so with the seal he put on the kunai that he slams down on the table, grant me this chance. Anyway, Inari, Tsunami and Tazuna, there's some things I have to said to you all before I move on, Kaiza continued. Considering the family's moment, Sakura questioned, Kakashi, was Naruto's life that bad? That barely scratches the surface, Obito remarked while wearing a white crow mask and in his human form. He didn't get to the emotional trauma or the insecurity he developed because of the crap life he lived. Kakashi questioned, he has insecurity, and what are you doing in that form? He may not look like it, but that kid has all kind of insecurity. As for why I'm in this form, I thought you would like his extra pair of hands since you will be facing some dangerous S-rank immortal, said Obito. Asuma questioned, Kakashi, do you know who he is? This is Obito, he the crow that been with Naruto all this time, said Kakashi. Asuma questioned, Obito, you mean like your friend that dies? Same one, but that is a whole another long story that I won't be getting into. Anyway, good to have you on board, it will be like old times, Kakashi replied. You mean with you being the biggest teme in the whole world? Replied Obito. Kakashi questioned, you said something, Dobi? Obito snarled, damn it Teme, I'll kick your ass. Sasuke questioned, me and Naruto are nothing like that, are we? No, you and him are way worse, all of the genin. HN, said Sasuke. Omake, there was nothing better to do. Academy Days Naruto 101 Ways of Getting Detention, numbers 41 to 50. Konoha production number 41. Naruto used a megaphone to announce, okay, quiet on the set everyone. Clone number 49, I want more emotion out of you from the last scene. Clone number 20, move evilness, you are the final boss the hero must defeat. Iruka questioned, Naruto, what the hell are you doing? Making an epic film of a tale that is set during the Warring States era about a heroic wandering ninja who is seeking love, peace and justice against vile villain who destroy his clan and village, Naruto stated. Why? Inquired Iruka. Because I didn't have anything better to do, Naruto responded. Choji, make sure the buffet is stocked. Shikamaru, add more lighting, then you can go back to sleep. Kiba, remember your line. Shino, act more stoic, and Hinata, good job acting as an unconscious princess, though I must talk to make up people because your face is too red. I think she is really unconscious, Kiba remarked. Naruto inquired, when did that happen? When the clone playing the evil villain grabs her, said Kiba. Naruto asked, I can work with that. Anyways, Iruka, what up? You have detention for turning the school into a movie set, Iruka stated. Naruto, fine, but can I finish the movie first? Fine. By the way, why is Sasuke dress up as a female warrior? Iruka inquired. Oh, because he playing the part of the blacksmith's daughter who joined up with the hero to avenge her father's death, Naruto replied. And how did you get him to do that or keep his fan girls from killing you for doing something like that instead of making him the lead in the movie? Iruka inquired. I did tell him that his character was female, and once I mentioned the word avenge, he was all for it. As for his fan girls, they were all for it. What more, he gained even more fan girls because of it, and some fan boys too, said Naruto. You know, once he find out about this he will try to kill you, Iruka replied. Once my movie screen he will be too busy with a new set of fan girls and fan boys to have time to kill me. Now if you don't mind, we are a little behind schedule, said Naruto. Number 42. The experience of Naruto. Naruto pumped his right hand in the air while holding a guitar in his left. Okay, first we take Konoha then the world, he said. Naruto, is it possible for you to just sit down and pay attention in class just this one time? Also, why do you, Choji, Shikamaru, Kiba and Shino have music instruments? Iruka responded. Because we are starting a band. I'm the lead singer and lead guitarist, Choji is our drummer, Shikamaru is our bassist, Kiba is our other guitarist and Shino is our keyboard player, Naruto stated. At least this time you didn't drag Hinata into it, Iruka replied. Naruto remarked, oh, Hinata is our manager. Iruka questioned, why are you doing this? Because I'm bored and there's nothing better to do, Naruto replied. Iruka inquired, so you decide to start a band? The words, be romantically involved with our manager, caused Hinata to lose consciousness, and Naruto responded, yeah, and I have it all planned out. First we will have our debut here in Konoha, then we will have a record deal, followed by a world tour, after which each of us will start having problems. For example, I will become addicted to popping bubble warp and rumor to be romantically involved with our manager. The band will break up while I head to rehab, after I get out we will reform and make a comeback, and after our next album we will call it quits. Iruka declared, that is the most foolish scheme I have ever heard. Several months later, after the band broke up, Uzumaki Naruto, who at the time was rumored to be romantically involved with his manager, Hinata Hyuga, decided to head to rehab to get his bubble warp popping under control. This seemed to be the end of the Naruto experience, but when we get back to Behind the Music we will see how they got back together to make their final and greatest album of all time, hitting the chart for months, the narrator on the television said as Iruka and his fellow students were watching the show. Man, that was some wild time we have, Kiba remarked. Yes, it will be a funny story that we can tell other about, Shino replied. It was troublesome, stated Shikamaru. But it was fun. Hey Hinata, were any of those rumors true? Choji responded. No Choji, it was a big misunderstand started by the paparazzi, Hinata replied. I don't believe it, answered Iruka. Believe it, said Naruto. Don't ever say that again, also you have detention for this craziness, Iruka replied. Ninja LARP number 43. We few, we happy few, we band of brothersa, Naruto said as he started his speech in front of two ANBUs and his classmates while wearing a fierce shinobi's armor. Iruka questioned, Naruto, what are you and everyone doing? Iruka, couldn't you let me finish my speech first before you interrupted me? Naruto responded. Iruka said, okay, finish your speech. Where was I now? Oh, I see. We are a small, contented group of brothers, because he sheds his blood with me today. Will be my brother, even if he isn't that nasty. His condition will improve today, and Konoha's gentlemen are now bed. They will feel guilty for not being present, and when anyone speaks, they keep their manhoods low. That fought with us on the day of Saint Rakuto Sennin. Ah! Naruto exclaimed, raising his weapons along with those of his allies. The Saint Crispin's Day speech should not be yours. Now that you are done with your epic speech, what are you all doing? Iruka said. We are LARPing, declared Naruto. LARPing? Asked Iruka. Yeah, LARPing, live action role. Playing, we the ninjas of Maple Clan are fighting our rival the Pine Clan, said Naruto. So you were bored and decided to play ninja, isn't it strange for ninja to play ninja? Iruka replied. First we are all ninja in training, well all of us are expect those two. Second playing is for kids. LARPing is not, and yes we are LARPing because we are bored. It was either this or kickball, and because of what happened last time we play kickball I thought this was a better idea, Naruto stated. Iruka said, you two got dragged into this huh? Well, truth be told, we didn't have anything better to do, Anbu, who was wearing Bunny's mask, expressed. I still said it is not fair that you got Anbu on your team and I end with most of my annoying fan girls, Sasuke replied. Well, it's your fault for having a lot of annoying fan girl and also not picking the Anbu when you have the chance, Naruto replied. Sasuke questioned, who could have seen them? I did, declared Naruto. The words, well you are not normal, came from Sasuke. He right, also you have detention for dragging Anbu from their duty, Iruka replied. When the duck-masked Anbu said, we said we didn't have anything better to do. Iruka remarked, it the principle of it, the principle. Naruto said, all right, so would you like to be a member of my team? Sure, why not, give a katana, Iruka responded. When Sasuke said, hey that's not fair, you got another rank shinobi. You can get Mizuki, revealed Naruto, but he suck, according to Sasuke. Naruto remarked, well you don't have much of a choice. With a fine we take the Teme, Sasuke said. As the mock battle started, Naruto charged in and said, you know that you are the pot calling the kettle black. Anyway prepare for battle. Ah. The others followed. Number 44. Observing the drying of paint, Iruka said, Naruto, are you okay? Naruto said, yes, why do you ask? You've been sitting there and watching that fence for some time now, Iruka replied. Oh, I'm just watching the paint on this fence dry, said Naruto. Why? Inquired Iruka. The answer from Naruto was, because I'm bored and have nothing to do. Iruka said, so you were watching paint dry? I was really bored, said Naruto. Okay, but I have to give you detention for being really dull today, Iruka replied. Uzumaki, Class Hokage, number 45, Naruto said, Uzumaki for Class Hokage, and handed a flyer to a stranger. Hand out another flyer. Uzumaki for Class Hokage, Naruto said. Naruto said, Uzumaki for, as he prepared to distribute another flyer. Iruka questioned, Naruto, what are you doing? Campaigning for my candidacy as Class Hokage, asked Naruto. According to Iruka, we don't have a Class Hokage. I know that way I'm going to be the first one so long as I don't lose to Teme, which I won't, said Naruto. Damn it, Dobi, I told you that I'm not going to run against you, Sasuke replied. Too bad, I need a campaign rival, so until I find someone else you doing it, said Naruto. Iruka questioned, Naruto will cause me to have more paperwork? Maybe, but there's nothing I can do about it since I have nothing better to do right now, said Naruto. Damn it, you have detention for causing paperwork to breed more of themselves, Iruka replied. Paperwork breeds? Inquired Naruto. Yes, and they do it at a rate that we can't handle, Iruka replied. All right, Naruto said, handing him a flyer, tell other students to vote for me as the Class Hokage. Iruka laughs as the background lights flash, oh I will, and then you have to deal with the dreaded paper muhaha. Naruto questioned, are teachers supposed to laugh evilly? Well, are underpay and have to deal with annoying brats like you, so it is understandable that we are evil on some level, Iruka replied. So long as you are not trying to destroy or take over the world, I'm okay with it, Naruto replied. Who would be dumb enough to try to take over the world? Do you know how big of a paperwork you have to deal with ruling the world, Iruka replied. First meeting of number 46 when Naruto said, roll calls everyone. According to Kiba, yo, Vice Hokage Inazuka Kiba here. According to Choji, Treasurer Akamichi Choji present. According to Hinata, Secretary Hyuga Hinata here. Shikamaru uttered, troublesome head Jonin Nara Shikamaru here. Shino said, head Anbu Aburame Shino here, as he raised his glasses. And your student body Hokage Uzumaki Naruto here. Let's get the first student village meeting started, said Naruto. Naruto, did you have to have your meeting during class? Iruka responded. Why not? It not like we have anything better to do right now, Naruto replied. You are supposed to be learning right now since we are in the middle of class, Iruka said with a deadpan. Nothing better to do, informed Naruto, nodding his head. Iruka remarked, that at Naruto detention, even though he didn't want to run, Sasuke said, I still can't believe I lost to the Dobi, but it was the idea behind it. Naruto declared, you and your fangirls were to blame. When Sasuke said, it's not my fault I have girls. Yes, it is because your emo-ish is confused with you being mysterious, Naruto replied. Snarling, I'm not emo and I'm going to kill you Dobi, Sasuke said. As Shino dragged Sasuke from the classroom, Naruto remarked, Shino, Hokage takes him to the T&I headquarters to be disciplined because he just made a death threat to the class. Sasuke said, you can't do this to me, as he was dragged from the classroom. He not taking him to the T&I headquarters to be disciplined, is he? Iruka inquired. Naruto gazed at Iruka and said, Iruka reciprocated Naruto's gaze. Alright, we can fill Shino in once he get back. Until then, let's start the meeting with coming up with ideas to raise money for the up-and-coming Academy's event that we will be hosting, Naruto replied without bothering Iruka. Narua on second thought, I don't want to know, Iruka replied. At the T&I headquarters, in the meantime as Shino dropped Sasuke off, he said, we have someone who needed to be disciplined for threatening the class Hokage. Alright, said Ibiki. Shino said, I will be heading back now, and walked away. Sasuke questioned, you won't really be disciplining me, will you? Ibiki said, you threaten the class Hokage if we do. Since when do you recognize that as a legitimate position? Asked Sasuke. Ibiki smiled sadistically as Sasuke's scream reverberated throughout the village. Since the new class Hokage give us new idea to get information out of people. Now let's get this started. The sooner we get this done, the sooner you can leave, Ibiki said. Sports Day, number 47. Okay, take your bet. The chicken butt hired emo Sasuke has a 4 to 5 chance of getting first place in the race, Naruto replied. Iruka questioned, Naruto, are you running a betting pool? Yes, I have nothing better to do until the next event I am in, so I decided to start a betting pool and earn some extra money for the class village budget. Now who do you want to put your money on? Replied Naruto. Let me rephrase my question, are you running a betting pool for a school event that we never host until now? Iruka responded. Naruto said, yeah, so what's the big deal? It's not moral right to host a gambling den at school, Iruka stated. I think that a school that trains child solitaire has more to worry about than illegal gambling, so who do you have your money on? Replied Naruto. Fine, but you have detention and a 1000 ryo on you for your next event, Iruka replied. Naruto said, thank you for believing in me so much. It is not faith, only an idiot would bet against you, Iruka replied. Well then they a lot of idiot here because everyone is betting against me, so if I win you will be making a killing, Naruto replied. Suggestion box number 48 Naruto remarked, well since I have nothing to do right now. Iruka said, pay attention in class right now. Iruka said, yep, absolutely nothing important to do right now, but Naruto ignored her. Damn it, answer detention for you. How many of them will it take for you to pay attention in class? Iruka responded. Never going to happen. Anyway, we going to have a class village meeting and go through some suggests from the suggestion box, Naruto replied. Iruka said, a suggestion box, you actually done something smart. Hey, I can be smart when I want it, just easier to be dumb and more fun being crazy, said Naruto. Now there is no such thing as a stupid suggestion, so let's get this started and look at the first suggestion. The first suggestion is, kill my fan. Girls. Wow, that was a stupid suggestion, Sasuke. Screaming at him, Dobi, it was supposed to be anonymous, Sasuke said. You don't have to put your name on it, but that doesn't mean I won't try to find out who wrote these suggestion, Naruto replied. As for your suggestion, we can't kill them, we need our cannon fodders. However, I could either give you advice on how to deal with them or hired bodyguards to protect you from them. But it is funnier to see you get mobbed by your fan. Girls, so we going to do nothing next, Naruto said as he dismissed the idea. This one suggested that we have a snack time, Shoji remarked. Naruto said, well, we can start a petition. Sasuke questioned, why didn't you deny that one? I want snack time. You on the hand I have a limited empathy for, next, said Naruto. Dobi. Snarled Sasuke. Nap time, said Shikamaru. Naruto remarked, another petition, okay. I got the next one, let's see, Sasuke walking around shirtless. As funny as it is to see Sasuke get traumatized, I'm going to say no, this may be a school that train child solitaire, but we have to draw the line somewhere. All of Sasuke's fangirls moaned, ah, as Sasuke sighed. As Sasuke fled for his life, his fangirls surrounded him and attempted to rip off his shirt. Naruto remarked, but there's nothing stopping his fan girls from rip off his shirt, since it's not our job to deal with such thing, so we won't get involved. Anyway, next. Kappa Copyright Uzumaki, number 49. We are hosting a cosplay Kappa copyright for our first annual culture festival, Iruka stated. Because we couldn't have think of anything better to do, said Naruto. Right, so every student is supposed to dress up and help out, Iruka said. Right, said Naruto. Then can you explain why you are being fed by a bunch of cute maids? Iruka inquired. Naruto said, they order me to be fed by them and as a butler I must follow my mistress' order, while he took a bite out of the food being served to him by a maid. Iruka questioned, who are they anyways? Naruto took a bite of another maid's food and responded, they're the grateful employee and one grateful owner from the maid Kappa copyright who I saved from a bunch of street gang that were trying to kidnap them all to be sold as slaves and prostitutes. Kiba, dressed as a warrior with dog's ears, pointed to Sasuke, dressed as a princess, who was being surrounded by his crazy fangirls and a few fanboys. Damn, some people get all the luck, but at least he beat Sasuke in both quantity and quality, Kiba said. Sasuke questioned, why am I doing fur and in dress too? Naruto stated, because you lost a bet, Sasuke whispered, last time I play cards with you. Hinata, dressed as an angel, exclaimed, T.T. Try this NN Naruto. K.Kun, as the other maids applauded. Naruto took a bite out of Hinata's food and said, okay, as she passed out and the maid, kawaii, and gusted. Naruto, you have detention for slacking off, that right, slacking off, Iruka replied. Naruto started with, but detention for slacking off and not because you are surrounded by cute maids, Iruka replied. Black Market Bake Sale number 50 Naruto said, PSSH, Iruka. Sensei, I have some quality muffin from the street, 100 ryo per bag, while attempting to avoid appearing suspicious. Iruka questioned, Naruto, what are you doing? Trying to sell some baked good to raise some fund for the class village fund, also I didn't have anything better to do, said Naruto. Iruka remarked, okay, but why are you sneaking around for? Because this is a black market bake sale, Naruto had answered. Iruka questioned, how can a bake sale be illegal? It is not. The name of the bake sale is the black market bake sale, and to keep up with the theme we are sneaking around and selling baked good, Naruto replied. Naruto, you have detention for doing something not illegal, Iruka murmured. Wow, I think that the first time I said something like that. The home of Tazuna Shikamaru grumbled, why can't I stay here and wait with Naruto and the others? No way, you slacker, we have a job to do and you're going to do it no matter what, Ino said. Please take care of Naruto and Ju for us. It seemed that he pushed himself to the limit and it will be some time until he can get up and move about, said Kakashi. I said that the area we found him in looks like a hurricane went through it, Asuma continued. Obito, who was in his human form, told him, and if you wake up before any of us come back you can tell him where we are, Makona. Hi, Obito. Taiko, Makona said, saluting Obito before he and the other went to nap. Since when did a baka like you earn a title like Taiko? Kakashi responded. Shut Teme, retorted Obito. Baka, said Kakashi. Both of you stop it. I get enough of it from my own teammate that I don't need to deal it from you too, Sakura screamed. Obito said, Kakashi. Teme, your female genin is scarier than Rin-chan, and he embraced Kakashi fearfully. In a terrified embrace, Kakashi said, I know Baka, I know, and embraced Obito. Naruto is anticipated by every ninja as he makes his way to the bridge. While Tsunami was busy cleaning the kitchen, Inari was tinkering with the kunai Naruto had left him and thinking back to what he had told him about his father the previous evening, not realizing the danger they were in. The hideout of Zabuza. Let go Haku, Zabuza was saying. Hi Zabuza. Sama, acknowledged Haku. Frankenstein said, I'm excited to see the quality of Sharingan no Kakashi's body, grinning eerily. Legion said, I don't understand why you collect body parts from such imperfect beings, in a voice that was distorted. That because you don't understand the beauty that comes from biology, the true gift to science, said Frankenstein. What nonsense are you talking about? Technology is the true gift of science, Legion replied. Frankenstein remarked, said the fool who doesn't understand the greatness of mitosis. You're the fool considering the fact that you cannot appreciate the accomplishment of the wheel. The true gift of science is technology, Legion responded. Frankenstein retorted, biology is the true gift of science, as the two started to dispute what the real gift of science was. Somewhere in the country of elements. Deidara inquired, do you feel that Sasori, Donna-an? Yeah, two fools are having a meaningless argument, Sasori replied. Why can't they have a meaningful argument like art, which is a bang-un, Deidara replied. Sasori remarked, fool, art is eternal, Deidara said, no art is a bang-un, as these two started their pointless quarrel. Returning to Zabuza's hiding place, Haku whispered to Zabuza, those two are having the most pointless argument I ever hear, Zabuza. Sama. Yes, they are. Anyways, I don't trust those two, I'm getting a bad feeling from them. If they show sign of turning on us then we will have to team up the Konoha ninjas in order to have chance of survive those two things, Zabuza replied. Haku remarked, hi, I understand Zabuza. Sama. At the bridge Tazuna checked on one of the fallen workers and asked, what happened here? Who did this? The worker said, a monster, and then fainted. Kakashi warned, be on guard, they're here, as the fog grew heavier. Zabuza appeared with Haku at his side and said, ah Kakashi, we met again and you brought some friends too. Where the blonde brat? I want to give him my replied. Kakashi answered, I'm sorry, but he's currently getting some much needed rest. Frankenstein said with a savage smile that sent shivers down everyone's spine, well, your Sharingan no Kakashi and Asuma, a formal member of the 12 Guardian Ninja, is also here. And you brought your little genins with you. I can't wait to cut open all of you. Flawed creatures surrender now and I shall convert you all so that you shall be perfection, declared one of the 5 legions. Obito pulled out his scythe and said, how about we take you all down instead? That symbol on your badge, you're one of the Shinigami's messenger or a Death Lord, and here I thought they all died out, Frankenstein remarked, gesturing to the skull-shaped badge. Sorry but no, I'm a Reaper that teaches one, Obito replied. As black threads sprang from his arm and started to twist around Zabuza, Frankenstein remarked, from the look of it, I guess he the blonde one that Zabuza mentioned who is not here yet. Oh well, I guess I shall play Operation with you all instead. But before we begin I think I shall collect my down payment first, Kage no Ito, Shadow Thread. Then, using a syringe filled with an unidentified substance, Frankenstein poked him. When the needle touched Zabuza, he burst into a pool of water. Mizu Bunshin Ha, I guess getting my specimen won't be as easy as I thought it would be. Oh well, at least I will see my collection in action before I get it. Haku remarked. Good thing we made those Mizu Bunshin to stand in for us, as he and Zabuza materialized alongside the Konoha ninjas. Yeah, Kakashi, considering that we have a common enemy right now, what do you said we team up for the time being? Zabuza responded. Kakashi said, I guess so, exposing his Sharingan. Zabuza and I will take on Frankenstein, while Asuma and Obito take on legions. Sasuke, you, Shikamaru, Choji and Zabuza's partner back up Asuma and Obito while Sakura and Ino guard Tazuna. Hi, each of them said. As everyone assumed battle positions, Kakashi remarked, I hope we escape this alive. At the home of Tazuna, a purple-hatted mercenary said, You're coming with us, girlie. Gato wants a hostage, as he and his companion entered through the wall they had just demolished. Mom! Exclaimed Inari. Ran away Inari, insisted Tsunami. Mercenary with eye patch. A kid, huh? What should we do with him? In response, his partner said, Gato only asked for one hostage. He questioned, should I kill him? Wait, if you touch him then I will bite off my tongue and kill myself, then you will lose your hostage, Tsunami replied. Hey, you should thank your mom for saving your life, kid, said the person wearing the hat. Damn, I wanted to cut something, the mercenary with the eye patch complained. He said, shut up already, you cut a bunch of stuff before we got here, as they walked away. And I don't want to die, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid, Inari thought. Mom, I'm so sorry, but I'm just a weak kid that can't protect you. Naruto's words reverberate in his mind, reminding him of his conversation with his father the previous evening. Not only are you a coward, but you are also an ungrateful baka. No jutsu flashback. Dad. Inari uttered those words. Inari, I'm sorry that I die and left you all, but I don't regret what I did, Kaiser replied. Why did you have to pass away and go? With tears in his eyes, Inari inquired. I fought for a good and happy life for you and your mother because I love you both, son. You should protect anything you value with everything you have, even if it means losing your life, Kaiser remarked. Flashback. No jutsu end. With Naruto's words, if you get tired of crying, you can take this kunai and fight Baka. Inari stood up and gripped the kunai resolutely. When Inari yelled, wait, they turned around. With a kunai in hand, he charged at them and yelled, get away from my mom. Note. It is dangerous to run with a sharp tool, so let a professional ninja do the jobs. Happy Wacky Snacks Seafood Paradise Chip is bringing you this public safety announcement. They may sound fishy, but it is a crime not to try them. Now, return to your regular schedule fanfiction. Stupid kid, let me cut him up, the mercenary with the hat demanded. Alright, said the other one. Tsunami attempted to say, Inari Runa, but was knocked out. When Inari was only a step away from them, the two mercenary brought down their swords in an attempt to cut him down, but instead they cut up a piece of log. All praise the holy log for it save another life today, Naruto uttered after saving Inari and Tsunami with Kourimi no Jutsu. Substitution Jutsu, he placed Inari and Tsunami next to Tree, Cloud, Makona, and Ju, saying, I will plant 10 saplings and write 100 lines of apology for its sacrifice. Naruto, said Inari. Sorry that I'm late, a hero always shows up at the last second or something like that. Anyways, you get an A for guts but A. D for skill. Don't worry, just keep practicing and soon you will be able to take down an enemy with that kunai, Naruto said while kissing Inari on the forehead. As for you two, not only did you have me sacrifice a log and woke me up this early in the morning. Patch exclaimed. Morning, it is noon. Whatever, you woke me up. Anyways, as I was saying, not only did you do those things but you also tried to kill Inari, kidnap Tsunami and work for that scum Gato. For that I will become your executioner and you will die, Naruto said while wielding his scythe. You kill us, like that will happen brat, they replied. Inari, look away and take care of your mother, what I'm about to do won't be pretty, said Naruto. Inari turned to check on his unconscious mother and asked, what are you going to do? Naruto responded, I'm going to finish this, as he prepared to strike. He declared, Futon. Kiratori Fuhai, wind release. Decaying cut, as his blow crumbled their hands and turned their swords into grains of sand. A pale mercenary said, ah, my hand, as a result of the blood loss. With a feeble voice, the other mercenary said, you will pay for that brat. The attack that I just used usually destroys my opponent's weapon without harming them because I typically limited the attack to their weapon, however I made an exception for the both of you because the two of you won't live for that much longer. Futon. Zensho. Fu, wind release. Ominous wind, Naruto said as a light wind began to between the two mercenaries. The mercenary started, "Ha your attacka," but was unable to complete it because he and his partner burst into a chuckle of flesh and blood. Naruto uttered the words, "Suiten. Seiketsu ni Narukawa, water release. Cleansing river." As their remains were washed into the river. "Well, that takes care of them. By the way, Inari, good job. Keep at it and you will keep on getting stronger. Anyways, from the look of things I should head to the bridge now. Can you take care of thing here?" replied Naruto. "Stupid dust in my eyes," Inari said, sobbing. "Yeah, good luck, Naruto." Naruto responded, "There's no shame in crying when you were happy. Well, later," and he and the other walked away. The Bridge Frankenstein vs. Kakashi and Zabuza. "I wish to not fight the both of you, for I want my specimen to be in perfect condition before I cut them open," said Frankenstein. Kakashi grinned and said, "I'm sorry, but I'm not that open about my body. Hell, I wear a mask in public for Kami's sake." Zabuza said, "Shut up about your insecurity and attack him, Sweden. Kirigakure no jutsu. Water release. Hiding in mist technique, before disappearing into the mist." Kakashi revealed his Sharingan and remarked, "You know, I can do without the mist, it's not really helping me much here." Frankenstein said, "Well, beggars can't be choosers, Raiden. Denkai, lightning release. Electric field." As electricity erupted all around him, shocking a stationary Kakashi and a charging Zabuza. Zabuza moaned, "Grr, what hit me?" and stood up. As he stood up, Kakashi remarked, "Oh, about 100 watts of electrical current, I think." When Frankenstein uttered the words, "This mist won't do, I can't see my precise sample in action. Shikuden. Archie no Mo, scorch release. Blazing wasteland." A red-hot orb exploded, heating the surrounding area and removing the mist while also making the environment hot and dry. "Crap, there goes my plan to strike him down while hiding in the mist," said Zabuza. Kakashi remarked, "I guess we'll have to do this the hard way." Together, Kakashi and Zabuza uttered the words, "Suiten. Suiryuden no jutsu. Water release. Water dragon bullet technique," which sent 2 water dragons charging at their adversary. Frankenstein said, "Doden. Doryuheki, earth release. Mud wall, erecting a stone wall to fend off the assaults." He pulled out 2 scrolls to call forth 2 of the most horrifying creatures he had ever seen. "Not bad, but let's see how you two deal with my creations," he said, and Wraith, he said, pointing to a pale, slender, medium-sized man with stitches all over his body as well. It wore a cloak and had razor metal claws attached to its arms. "Meat abomination," he said, pointing to the big, buff human with stitches all over his body, who was carrying a big battle axe and wearing a medieval helmet. He said, "Entertain me now," as his 2 creations rushed toward them. When Kakashi said, "I take the skinny one," Zabuza swung his sword and charged in, saying, "All right, I wonder how the others are doing." "Legion versus the others, pathetic meat. Bag," uttered the Legion on the far right. As the one on the front right said, "Surrender and become complete like us." When Obito said, "Never, you human trash can," the person on the back left said, "Okay, then we'll demonstrate to you all why challenging us is pointless. Call forth 3 Kyosha, Lance units along with 2 more Fuyo, Pawn units." The one on the right hand side instructed. "Kakugyo, Bishop, unit powering up," said the one in the middle, who appeared to be identical to the other 4 except for the various seals carved on each inch of its armor, which began to glow. He declared, "Kakugyo, Bishop, unit operational," as it was enclosed in a chakra that resembled a Shinto shrine. "Run Purouramu. Terapator, program. Teleporting array," he said, as a pentagram formed around the shrine, with a circle at the tip of each point. 5 more robotic samurais emerged after a column of light burst from all the circles. 3 were holding some sort of firearm, while the other 2 were brandishing swords, just like the other 4. One Legion member yelled, "Attack!" as all of the sword-wielding members charged at them. Asuma's chakra blade, Obito's scythe, Sasuke's Chikuto, Shikamaru's shadow, Choji's enlarged hand, and Haku's ice dome all countered their attack. "Word of warning, Ino, don't use your Shintenshin no Jutsu, mind-body switch technique," said Obito. "Why, wouldn't it be better if I took control of one of them?" Ino responded. "Their minds don't work like ours. If you use that jutsu, 3 things will happen. You will end up being controlled by them. Your mind will be lost in their collective consciousness, or your mind will end up being destroyed by them," he responded. "Right, no Shintenshin no Jutsu, mind-body switch technique," said Ino. "Ah!" Choji exclaimed in agony as one of the legions cut his hand's palm to break free. Obito said, "Damn it, Choji. Go get your hand healed by Sakura and then go back into battle. Everyone else hit them hard and make sure they stay down." Kaden. Gokakyu no Jutsu. Fire release. Great fireball technique, hurling a huge fireball at them that knocked some of them back but did little harm to them. As they fired a burst of chakra from their firearm, the three Kyosha, Lance, units yelled, "Lock on, Chakra Shato, Chakra Shot," striking Obito, who collapsed on his knee in agony. Asuma spat out ashes as it encircled a portion of the legion, saying, "Kaden. Heizekisho. Fire release. Burning ash," before the ashes burst into a violent explosion. The hit legions had scorch marks on their armor after the dust settled, but they were still operational. According to Asuma, "Are you alright, Obito?" "Yeah, you can't kill something that already dead, but if I take on too much damage I will be forced back to the spirit realm to recover," said Obito. Legion sarcastically remarked, "You dirty our armor, that is a great accomplishment for a bunch of pathetic meat bags." Sasuke said, "Okay, now what?" "Well, the name they use for each type of unit is a name of a different shogi piece," Shikamaru replied. While Ino whispered shogi otaku to Shikamaru, Sasuke questioned, "How will that help us?" "Just stating an interesting fact, but from what I can see the Fuyo, Pawn, units can only attack close range while Kyosha, Lance, units are good at attacking mid to long range and the Kakugyo, Bishop, unit can call forth more legions units. From what I can see we need to take down the Kakugyo, Bishop, unit so they won't overwhelm us with their number, however this will be difficult to do," said Shikamaru, "because the Fuyo, Pawn, units are preventing us from even getting close to the Kakugyo, Bishop, unit while the Kyosha, Lance, units are picking us off from a distance. So they are hard to kill," Choji remarked as he returned to the fight. As everyone withdrew to prepare a counterattack, Shikamaru remarked, "Yes, but I have a plan, but I need everyone to fall back so I can assign each one of you your task." The creations of Frankenstein versus Kakashi and Zabuza. "Damn, this guy is fast," Kakashi remarked as he escaped Wraith's claw's next blow. Wraith yelled, "Jinten. Phantomusutoraiku, swift release. Phantom strike," before attacking Kakashi. Kakashi slashes him with his kunai as he approaches, but ultimately only cuts the afterimage of the Wraith. Then he materialized to his right, lightly cutting Kakashi's side with his claw. "He's a Kekkei Genkei user too, that just great, what else can go wrong? How are you holding up, Zabuza?" replied Kakashi. Zabuza called out, "Sweden. Sweden no jutsu, water release. Water bullet technique," as he threw a stream of water at his adversary. Abomination said, "Doden. Domu, earth release. Iron skin," which caused his skin to darken and rendered the water attack ineffective. Then he struck Zabuza with his battle axe. "Not good," Zabuza grunted, avoiding the attack. "He's an earth-type user so his element is stronger than mine," he said. Jumping back to dodge another Wraith attack, Kakashi remarked, "Well, if you take on mine, I'll take on yours." As he and Kakashi stood back to back, Zabuza said, "Fine," leaping backward to dodge Abomination's axe. He said, "Sweden. Kirigakure no jutsu. Water release. Hiding in mist technique," while Kakashi and he were imprisoned by the mist. Wraith said, "Jinten. Takon, swift release. Rush," before disappearing and launching a linear attack directly into the fog. Attacking only the air, he emerged from the other side of the mist. Abomination said, "Doden. Koka jutsu, earth release. Hardening technique," while he covered his body with granite. Kachiyose. Doden. Suiga no jutsu. Summoning. Earth release. Fang pursuit technique. Kakashi uttered as a group of his ninja dogs, leapt to the ground, biting and securing Abomination. In contrast, Zabuza appears behind Wraith and uses his method of silent killing to decapitate him. He remarked, "That's one," as a headless Wraith fell. Kakashi uttered the words, "Raiden. Reikari, lighting release. Lighting blade," as his electrical charge hand sliced through Abomination's heart and rock armor. Kakashi said, "Two," as Abomination also fell to the ground. Frankenstein told them, "Mine, mine, you two are really entertaining," and gave them a standing ovation. He uttered the words, "However you two destroyed two of my precious creation," with charaded sadness. The dark thread gathered the fallen homunculus and sealed them back into the sealing scroll. "Oh well, with a little more experimentation I can make them better. Kage no Ito, shadow thread," he said. His smile was maniacal. "Your victory makes me want to add you two to my collection even more," he said. "My precious runners capture my new trophy," as he unrolled a scroll and called forth a pack of creatures that resembled mangled, deformed dogs. Kakashi declared, Kaden. Gokakyu no Jutsu, fire release. Great fireball technique. Setting several of the runners on fire. I think we should fall back and regroup with the other now, he stated. Zabuza and Kakashi withdrew, saying, Hi, I hope the others are doing better than us, together. The other Shikamaru questioned, Okay, so does everyone understand the plan? Hi, each of them said. Shikamaru declared, Kagemain no Jutsu, shadow possession technique, as his shadow spread out to ensnare every legion. In order to distinguish the Fuyo, Pawn, unit from the others, Haku said, Hyeten. Makio Hyosho, ice release. Demonic mirroring ice crystals, forming ice mirrors. Buban Baika no Jutsu, partial expansion technique, Shoji said, enlarging his arm and hand before slamming the Fuyo, Pawn, units together with his massive hands. Sasuke said, Raiden. Shizunami, lighting release, static wave, releasing a burst of lightning that stunned and fried the circuits of the Fuyo, Pawn, units. Kaden. Gokakyu no Jutsu, fire release, great fireball technique. Obito uttered as he blasted a massive fireball at the defeated adversary. As the attack hit the Fuyo, Pawn, units, Asuma uttered the words, Futon. Daitapa, wind release, great breakthrough, which caused the fireball to grow larger and burn hotter. Two of the Fuyo, Pawn, units at the centers were reduced to ashes once the flames subsided, while the other units at the sides had their arms and legs melted off. Kakashi remarked, Looks like your plan was successful, as he and Zabuza materialized beside them. But there's still 4 more left that aren't destroy or damage, Sasuke stated. Also one of them can call forth more out to battle, claimed Shikamaru. One of the Kyosha, Lance, Legion unit remarked, You all went from being pathetic to being annoying, as Haku's ice mirrors began to fall. Another Kyosha, Lance, unit asked, What percentage is the teleporting unit at? 100%, declared the Bishop, Kakugyo, unit. Alright, called Arayama, promoted Bishop, unit. 4 of those Fuyo, Pawn, units can be salvaged. Also call forth a token, promoted Pawn, unit. 2 Kama, Knight, units and lastly a Kinsho, Gold General, unit to battle. I grow tired of indulging these meat bags, the final unit of Kyosha, Lances, said. Kakugyo, Bishop, unit uttered the words, Run Kurogaramu, Terrapod or program. Teleporting array, summoning a massive bell. Shaped machine with a robotic head, a metal samurai with a glowing seal on its body, 2 mechanically mounted samurai, and a tall, golden armored robotic soldier brandishing a shield and a bladed weapon. Haku inquired, How are you handling your opponent Zabuza? Sama, while expressing concern about the recently arrived Legion units. Zabuza grunted and said, The creep wanted to collect me and Hitaki as his prize. Frankenstein said, Yes, and what you are doing might make what I want quite difficult, Legion, as he emerged in front of them, his pack runners trailing behind him. I could care less about what you want, you can take what body part you can find after I wipe these unsightly being in front of me. Ryama, promoted Bishop, unit repaired the 4 damaged Fuyo, Pawn, units, while Kyosha, Lance, and Kama, Knight, units take your aim and eliminate them, the Legion with golden armor said. Kyosha, Lance, and Kama, Knight, units lined up and pointed their chakra guns and cannon at the ninjas, saying, Locking on to the target, target lock on. Troublesome, according to Shikamaru. If any of you know any defensive jutsu, use them now, Kakashi said, speeding up his hand signals. Frankenstein said, Wow, that's a strange sight to see. Yeah, this is my first time seeing a ghost ship with actual ghost, Legion replied. No, I mean the pirate ninja, they're like a contradiction in this world, aren't they, said Frankenstein. I think we should be more concerned about the skeleton army than about a career-confused kid, the Legion said. Naruto, wearing a black cornered hat and an orange pirate trench coat, apologized for being late, saying, I travel as fast as this ship could take me here. You're late because you take a ship to get here, where the hell did you get a pirate anyhow? Replied Kakashi. I made it with the Mokuton ability that I borrow from Tree.kun. Also I didn't just take a ship here, I went upstream to where the ship was and then sailed down here to the bridge, said Naruto. Kakashi questioned, Why didn't you just head straight here? You mean besides arriving here in style? You got to admit that arrive to battle in a pirate ship is pretty epic, said Naruto. Yeah, true, however I want an explanation to why you were playing around on a pirate ship while the rest of us were have a life and death battle, Kakashi said. Naruto pointed to the massive cannon devices and remarked, Well, these 2 high-power chakra cannon are really heavy and bring them by ship seem like a good way to transport them. Kakashi questioned, Why didn't you just seal them up in a sealing scroll? The reason, Naruto said, because then I couldn't dress up as a pirate. Oh, okay, said Kakashi. Sakura said, okay. You letting him off with an excuse like that? Well, this is Naruto we're talking about, and beside, as long as he has some kind of an excuse for his actions I am fine with it, replied Kakashi. Says the guy who always has an excuse for being late, Sasuke said in a deadpan tone. In an attempt to shift the conversation, Kakashi said, let focus here guys, we have enemies who want to kill us. Frankenstein said, so are you going to introduce yourself, our uninvited guest? In his corner of despair, Naruto said, there was an invitation and I didn't get one, as the others simply perspired. While still in his corner of misery, Naruto exclaimed, of course I didn't get one, I'm the village's pariah and the village's pariah never gets invited to anything, as he began to sob uncontrollably. While the other tried to avoid taking responsibility, Naruto yelled at the heavens, why don't they let me play in any of their reindeer's games? It's not my fault that I have an ancient sentient fox being with a god complex living inside my gut. I don't have a god complex, you brat, I just think that I'm better than a pathetic human like you, Kurama was saying next to him. After seeing him like this I got to ask, can he really make an endless amount of exploding clone? Is his obsession with explosive that bad, and can he really single-handedly destroy an entire village? Replied Zabuza. Yes, to the endless amount of exploding clone, and you have no idea for the obsession with explosive. As for single-handedly destroy an entire village, well, if he put his mind to it or if he gone insane, more than he is right now, he can definitely do it. We really surprised that he hasn't done it yet, Kakashi stated. You can thank me and the others for that. Every time that he is about to something on the level of blowing up an entire village, our Naruto danger sense goes off and we distract him from doing so, said Obito. Kakashi questioned, you have a Naruto danger sense? Anyone that know him has one. It's the tingling feeling in the back of your mind that said something bad is about to happen and Naruto is going to be involved in it somehow, said Obito. That explained the feeling I have before he does one of his pranks, Kakashi thought. Anyways, I'm Uzumaki Naruto, and since I safeguard my true name you can't use it for your sick and twisted game, Naruto replied. Kakashi questioned, are you really that superstitious? Considering that my life consists of powerful deities, demons and earthbound spirits, yes. Now back to my intro. The name is Naruto, a mortal hunter and a weapon of the Shinigami, meaning you two worst's nightmares. The mad scientist Victor von Frankenstein and Legion the Undying Army, or as I like to call you two, the organ. Otaku and garbage can, Naruto said while wielding his scythe. I don't fear you, you pathetic meat bag, and you will pay for that insult, said Gold General Kinsho. Frankenstein boastfully remarked, you may criticize my work, but through it I discover the origin of Kekkei Genkai. Of course I had help from my beautiful creation underlings, he said, calling forth a group of creatures that resembled deformed humans. They are quite useful as lab assistants as they are as foot soldiers. The origins of Kekkei Genkai, you mean how they are Kami's gifts, demons' curses or spirits' hearts thus come from deities. Demons are a powerful spirits. I know all of that and didn't even have to cut open a person, you organ fetish freak, and since you brought some more friend to the party I think I should too. Kachiyose no Jutsu. Summoning technique. He said to summon a group of hellhounds. As for you Tin.Can, I can take you on hands down and I didn't need to make myself into a Psi.Fi reject, said Naruto. The Gold General Kinsho's eye twitched as he said, I will obliterate you for continuous insults, fleshy, despite his face being completely mechanical. The organ fetish freak thing didn't sit well with Frankenstein, who twitched his eyes and said, oh, I will have fun cutting you open. Because you are the Shinigami's Death Lord I can't add you to my collection or it will be the death of me or my creation due to your connection with him, but that doesn't mean I can't cut you open. However, that doesn't mean I don't wish to have a piece of you inside of me, he said with an eerie grin. Ew. I thought you were creepy before but I didn't peg you for a pedo, said Naruto. Frankenstein said, I didn't mean it like that, I meant your organ like your heart or liver transplanted in me, brat, along with a checkmark. Naruto pointed to Sasuke and said, aren't you more interested in getting you hand on a piece of teme here? Well yes, one of the last Uchiha does interest me, but do you have to phase it like that? Asked the man. Sasuke remarked, Dobi don't attract pedos to me. I'm not a pedo, shouted Frankenstein. I don't need to attract pedos to you. You naturally attract them due to emo exterior and your antisocial behaviors make you an easy target, said Naruto. Anyways, what can you guys tell me about our enemy? Asked he. Shikamaru pointed to the operational Fuyo, Pawn, Kyosha, Lance, and Kama, Knight units that are being repaired by the Ryama, promoted Bishop, unit. Well, the one who's inside the Chakra Shrine can summon more units, so we need to take it down first. Also, From the looks of things, the new bell-shaped machine just repaired some of the units we just destroyed, so it's the second thing we need to take down, Shikamaru said. That is not the only thing you have to worry about, Token, promoted pawn. The Kinsho, Gold General, unit stated. The Token, promoted pawn, unit exclaimed, Mecha mode, as its head, arms, and legs separated and moved apart. After that, a huge chakra mecha is created as the chakra flows through them. That would be so cool if it wasn't trying to kill us, said Naruto. The suggestion from Obito was, we really should do something about that. Naruto gave the order, right gunner Ju.Kun fired the second chakra cannon. Aye, Captain Naruto, said Ju, who was wearing a bandana and a doublet. He then fired the cannon, missing their other enemies as well as the Token, promoted pawn, unit. Naruto said, Gunner Ju.Kun, you missed the gigantic mecha. Ju asked with a cute little tilt of his head, that was my target? Naruto questioned, what were you aiming at then? The other pirate ship in the distance, said Ju. Right, well, since we already fire our only 2 cannon and it has a cooldown time of an hour, we can't use them again. Guess we have go with plan C, said Naruto. They questioned, plan C, what was plan A and B? He made a tiny cut on his thumbs and wiped the blood off the tattoo on his left arm and the seal on his side. Plan A was bum rushing them with massive amount of exploding clones which might destroy the bridge in the process, so that out. Plan B was blowing them up with the chakra cannon, but now that is out of the question, so we go with plan C, he said. Kachiyose no Jutsu. Summoning technique. Which is to have a kick-ass kaiju, strange beast, giant monster, battle, declares Naruto, calling Byako and Soul into combat. Looks like I get to test my skill, Byako, the samurai with the giant katana and the black, striped white tiger, said. Can't wait to burn something to a crisp, said Soul, the enormous dragon with a blue flame skeleton. Frankenstein pulled out 2 scrolls and conjured up 2 enormous horned creatures standing upright with their tails swinging wildly. Well, since everyone is bringing out the big gun, so to speak, I guess I join in, he said. He commanded, go forth and show them your great strength, my behemoths, as the creatures prepared to strike. With his thumb pointing downward, Naruto stated, all right, let's let Mr. Spawn Point and Mr. Fix-It go down before I deal with Dr. Organ Fetish and the Tin Dot Man and his army. Naruto said, Futon, Hiko Fujin no Jutsu, wind release, flying wind god technique, as the wind started to swirl around him and he started to float. He uttered the words, Futon, Maha, Soku, wind release, Mach speed, as he hurtled toward the Kakugyo, Bishop, Legion. He stopped as the Kyosha, Lance, and Kama, Knight, units took aim and fired their weapons at him as he was only a step away from the Kakugyo, Bishop, Legion. He exclaimed, Futon, Senpu Boi, wind release, whirlwind defense, as he rapidly spun a screeching, spiraling wall of wind around himself. The jutsu grinds the Kakugyo, Bishop, Legion to mush of flesh and dust of metal sand while blocking the chakra beams that were about to strike him. He hurled himself directly at the Ryama, promoted Bishop, Legion after saying, well, that take care of him, to the heap of sand that had once been the Kakugyo, Bishop, Legion. When the Kinsho, Gold General, Legion attempted to stop him, Naruto raised his side in retaliation. He said, Futon, Shinshoku, wind release, erosion, directing a strong gust of wind that was both high and screeching toward the Ryama, promoted Bishop, and Kinsho, Gold General, Legions. Every inch of the Kinsho's, Gold General, armor was covered in nicks and scratches as the wind died down, leaving the Ryama, promoted Bishop, reduced to nothing more than a heap of sand and organic goo. The Kinsho, Gold General, unit remarked, you managed to scratch my best armor on one of my best units and easily took down 2 key units on your own. Congratulations, you earned the title higher than any of your allies, which is Pest. Your grand prize is that you get the honor of being painful murdered by me. As for your prize, I have to turn it down because it sucked. Fu no Noroi. Kurayami Shiryoku. Curse Vessel. Dark Sight, he said, temporarily blinding both allies and enemies nearby because he didn't have time to mark his target. Thank you, and you're the first person to survive that assassination jutsu, but it doesn't mean much considering that this is the first time I actually use it on a person. Additionally, that high quality and super dense chakra armor will cause me some problems. Everyone heard Naruto yell, Shinigami no Shukakao, Harvest of the Death God, followed by a thud. When they saw Naruto and his allies again, they noticed that one of the Fuyo, pawn, units was lying on the ground, never to rise again. With Kakugyo, Bishop, and Ryama, promoted Bishop, units gone, we might be able to finally bring him down, Obito stated. Kakashi questioned, Yeah, but what did you do to that Fuyo pawn unit? Use a jutsu that the Shinigami taught me to free trap souls, and considering what each legion is using as a power source, it seemed like a smart move. Good thing I caught that one by surprise, because if he saw it come he might have fight against it, taking time and effort to take it down, said Naruto. There's still more left to take down, and you use a lot of your chakra to summon 2 boss summons and an army of allies, not to mention taking down 3 of them. Do you have enough energy to fight? Replied Kakashi. Naruto replied, Kuchio's no jutsu summoning technique, and conjured up 2 regular-sized tigers with swords by their sides. Yeah, and I can always tap into Kurama chakra if need to. Good thing I brought some of my custom soldier pill with me, he informed me. Custom soldier pill, is there something special about them? Kakashi inquired. Yes, they are chewable, come in many tasty flavors and replenish chakra more efficiently than normal soldier pill, he said. It's crucial to improve chewability and flavor, Kakashi deadpanned. Pointing to the new tiger's summon, he said, of course anyways let the boss summons take on the big guys, while I and my friend Saria will take on Golden Boy, while you old-timer take on Dr. Pedo. I'm not a pedo, shouted Frankenstein. We're not that old, shouted Zabuza, Obito, Asuma, and Kakashi. Naruto remarked, right, and the other take on the rest. Kakashi questioned, are you sure you can take him on? Maybe, but I might have to pull some of my dad's old move, so if anyone asked I learned them from you, Naruto replied. As they prepared to take on their assigned opponents, Kakashi remarked, all right, let's give them everything we got. Omake, don't worry, I'm certified. Academy Days Naruto 101 Ways of Getting Detention. Numbers 51 to 60. Dr. Uzumaki, number 51. Iruka started, okay, class, today we will be learning about but was cut off when Choji abruptly passed out. A feeble. Someone gets me a doctor, Choji said. Shikamaru inquired anxiously, is there a doctor in the house? Saying, I'm a doctor, Naruto got to his feet. Really now, Iruka said doubtfully. He responded, yes, I have a license to practice medicine, displaying his credentials. Since when? Inquired Iruka. Since the end of last term, I have been taking night class at a local community college to earn a medical degree, replied Naruto. Raise an eyebrow and ask, you attended class willingly? Iruka asked. Wait, there's a local community college around here and you can earn a medical degree from it. Most importantly, they give you of all people a medical degree? Asked the man. Naruto checked on Choji and said, yes, now if you don't mind I need to diagnose Choji's ailment. Choji, what did you have for breakfast? He inquired. Choji enumerated, well, I had some pancakes, waffles, muffins, bacon, and sausages. Okay, I got it, Naruto said, cutting in. After a dramatic pause, he said, you are suffering from a severe cause of indigestion from overeating. Stomachache, you really don't need a degree to diagnose someone with stomachache. Iruka was deadpanned. Naruto said, well yeah, but how about treating it? You don't need one for that too, and Iruka said. Well anyways, elevate his leg and give him 4 cc of ginger mix with hot water and honey, said Naruto. You are in detention, Naruto, Iruka said, squeezing the bridge of his nose. For treating a fellow student of an illness they have, replied Naruto. No, for attending and passing a course. Wow, I never thought I would say that about you, he said. Now that we know of your success as a college student, your grade at the academy would improve, right? To which Naruto replied, don't count on it, the surgeon at number 52 and their drama. Naruto said, scalpels, to one of the surgical interns who surrounded him during class. Scalpels, he said, holding a pair of scalpels so he could carry on with the procedure. Naruto brought the scalpel down and said, okay, I'm about to make the incision. Iruka questioned, what are you doing in class, Naruto? Putting my surgical license to good, which I got from the same community college that I got my medical license, said Naruto. You think using your surgical license to cut a turkey is a good idea? Iruka muttered, how in the world do you continue to earn these degrees? Yes, I do consider that making the best turkey sandwich is a good use of my talent, and also the college has a lot of good programs for its students, said Naruto. What are these people doing here? How about them? Iruka inquired. They are interns in surgery. He shrugged and said, I don't really know why they're here. They just happened to show up when I was about to make my lunch. You. A woman with red hair pointed to Naruto and then strode over to give him a slap. It hurts. What was that for, and who are you? He inquired. With tears in her eyes, Dr. Red declared, I'm the hot shot cardiologist, and that for making believe that I can fall in love again. What? Naruto cried in confusion. and then a woman with blonde hair approached him and gave him a slap as well. I'm the eager and young intern, Dr. Yellow, and that for making me believe in myself, she replied. What? Naruto said, growing more perplexed, and then a woman with chestnut hair approached and slapped him as well. I am the kind-hearted pediatrician, Dr. Brown, and that for giving me the best night of my life, she replied. What? I'm still a virgin and I still think girls are gross and have cooties, he said. I didn't do it, I couldn't have done it. Silly, of course we did, I was referring to the date, the dinner, and the kiss. You are an exceptionally talented kisser, Dr. Brown remarked, her face flushed. Not wanting to lose to the other three, Hinata approached him and gave him a slap as well. I wanted to tell you that I have always admired you, she said. Okay, what the hell is happening? Have I been living a double life that I don't know about? Naruto yelled. The only thing that is happening is you and how you always make my heart beat fast when I'm next to you, Dr. Red stated while placing her hand over her heart. Dr. Yellow said, and how everything is better when you are around, having a close look at Naruto's eyes. In La Land, a drooling Dr. Brown exclaimed, also your lipsa. Naruto.kun, Hinata said, twitching her body. I need a quiet place to think and figure out what the hell is going on, so please give me detention right away, Iruka. Sensei. After asking, Naruto went to his corner of misery. Iruka patted him on the back of his shoulder and said, okay Naruto, as Naruto rocked back and forth and repeatedly muttered, what the hell is going? I don't remember any of this. Number 53. A neurologist's mind. Let's see, I can't think about my unexpectedly acquired love life because I have to have a brain tumor removed today. Where the devil did those three come from? Murmured Naruto. Naruto, said Iruka. Dr. Red, a cardiologist, seems to have the ability to physically and figuratively touch people's hearts, including mine. And Dr. Yellow, the new intern, never fails to make my day better, Naruto reflected further. Naruto, hello there, Iruka said. Dr. Brown, a compassionate pediatrician, is also available whenever you need someone to talk to or a helping hand. And my patient Hinata. Chana. Naruto uttered in a contemplative stance as Hinata, who was seated beside him, fainted upon hearing his name. Naruto, said Iruka. Wait, I shouldn't think that way about Hinata. Chan because she's my friend. What am I thinking about her, anyway? Naruto said, looking perplexed. Naruto. Iruka cried out. No, what matters most in this situation is where those three came from and how I got into what I think is a fictitious relationship. Naruto, who was suffering from a headache from overthinking, said, no wait, ramen. What matters is the brain surgery I have this afternoon. Naruto. Iruka shouted. Iruka. Sensei, what is it? Naruto uttered those words. You were interrupting class again because you were thinking aloud again, Iruka admitted, so you have detention again. Naruto remarked, I got to stop doing that, so, have you discovered the origin of those three? Iruka inquired. Naruto rubbed his head and remarked, no and it is giving me a major headache. Naruto. Dr. McBlondie, said Uzumaki, DRs. Red, brown, and yellow. Naruto moaned and slammed his head against his desk. McBlondie, great they came up with a nickname for me, he said. Just lay there and sleep off the headache, Iruka said, giving him a shoulder pat. Number 54. The romance of a cardiologist, Dr. Yellow, who was crying, said, choose me, pick me, love me, in front of Naruto. I kind ofa, Naruto attempted to answer. When he said, no choose me because you complete me, Dr. Red cut him off. Naruto sighed, now not a gooda. The seductive words, no choose me, because you make me feel alive, because you know how to make a girl feel like she's a woman, came from Dr. Brown. Hinata, who struggled with words, held a boombox over her head while music played. Thanks for the music, Hinata. Chan. It's very soothing. Still a virgin, still think girls are icky and have cooties, Naruto responded. He put his hand in someone's chest and said, now, if you don't mind, I have to finish this operation and I'm very busy right now, three of whom I don't know how you got involved in my life. I didn't know that Mizuki needed a new heart, expressed Iruka. He doesn't. I simply didn't have a body to demonstrate to the medical students how to do an open heart surgery, which is something I have to do as this village's top licensed cardiologist. Naruto remarked, Mizuki here volunteered for the job. He offers to do this? Iruka inquired. Well, he took the cupcake that was next to the sign that said, free cupcake for medical study. Or did it just said, free cupcake? Anyway, he got his cupcake. Granted, I knocked him out with a bat before he got to eat it, but in the end the cupcake was in his hand, Naruto chuckled. Naruto detention, sighed Iruka. Is that because a cupcake isn't considered a legal contract? Naruto inquired. Iruka ignored the fact that one of his students was using a fellow teacher as a medical dummy, but to be fair, Mizuki is a sucker. No, it's because you didn't let Mizuki finish his cupcake. You must always let them finish the cupcake, he said. With a, okay, I will remember that next time, Naruto answered. Iruka said, as long as you understand that, after realizing that there was no use in preventing him from repeating the action. The 55th time of death looking down with sorrow, Naruto stated, the time of death is 5:50 p.m., and as a licensed undertaker, all I can do is give it a proper burial. Iruka sighed and said, Naruto, it's a cup of ramen. Not any cup of ramen but a super amazing special supreme miso cup of ramen. It was so young and probably very delicious, but now I will never know. Naruto wept tears of anime. When Iruka said, you can get another cup of it. It won't be the same. Each cup of ramen is special in its own unique way, Naruto remarked in his depressed corner. You're in detention because of this strange behavior. Hello, where are the 3 female doctors who frequently visit to tell you they love you? Iruka inquired. Well, at the small village clinic, Dr. Red was able to heal her heartbreak and find love again with an old friend. Dr. Yellow fell in love with a coworker after joining Medic Without Border. Regarding Dr. Brown, she develops feelings for the unmarried father of one of her cherished patients. But in the end, I still don't understand how they got into my life or where the hell they came from, Naruto sobbed. Hinata patted Naruto-kun on the shoulder and said, there, everything will be alright. Wiping his eyes, Naruto said, thank you, Hinata-chan. I'm happy you're in my life. Hinata mumbled, glad a part of your life, before passing out. Hinata-chan no, Naruto screamed, don't die on me. Iruka sighed, Naruto, you worry me sometimes. Number 56. Constructing bridges. Naruto, wearing glasses and holding a notebook and pen, told a group of couples, communication is keys in any relationship, as he reclined in his chair. Okay, time up, we will continue this next time. Thank you, Dr. Uzumaki, you saved our marriage, a man and his spouse told Naruto. What are you doing with the classroom right now, Naruto? Iruka inquired. This is couples therapy, he said. Why? Iruka inquired. Because as a licensed therapist it is my duty to help people build bridges of bond in their relationship, Naruto stated, raising his shining glasses. You have a license to practice therapy? Iruka inquired. Yes, see, Naruto said, displaying his degree to Iruka. Naruto, this is a degree for civil engineering. You are building the wrong kind of bridges, Iruka said. Wearing a hard hat and a tool belt, Naruto remarked, oh well, since I'm in a helping couple mood I think I will go and build a bridge for people to take long romantic stroll on. Okay, but when you're done you will have detention for practicing unlicensed therapy with others, Iruka replied. Mr. Uzumaki, number 57. Naruto tore the book in half and said, okay class, I want you all to take out your book and do this. What are you doing, Naruto, and don't you attend class? Iruka inquired. He pumped his fist in the air and said, teaching students that what they learned in life cannot be found in books but in your heart. Made a guy then appeared and screamed, youth, which prompted Naruto to give him a roundhouse kick that sent him flying out of the window and across Konoha. Anyway, that was strange. What gave you the impression that you could instruct a class? Iruka inquired. My teaching degree, answered Naruto. Iruka deadpanned, even though you have a teaching degree, you are failing my class. Naruto wisely remarked, it takes great skill to do such a thing. Anyway, class, let's make some explosive. Until we discuss sabotage, we won't study explosives. Return to your seat now, or face morning detention for being a poor performer, Iruka stated. There's nothing wrong with underachievement, insisted Naruto. No, but I expected a lot from you, Iruka replied. The number 58,007. Naruto remarked, shaken, not stirred barkeep. The bartender deadpanned, it's a milkshake, so it will be shaken. Why is there a bar in the classroom, Naruto? Iruka inquired. Are milkshakes sold in bars? Shikamaru inquired. May I have a strawberry banana smoothie? Choji inquired. Please, let's return to the main question, Iruka inquired. I'm not sure, but it was here when I arrived. Naruto remarked, all I know is that I'm supposed to meet someone here for my assignment. What sort of assignment is this, and who are you meant to meet here? Iruka inquired. You only need to be aware that I am licensed to spy brilliantly if I tell you that I would have to kill you. Naruto answered, as for whom I'm meeting but a strange man carrying a briefcase interrupted him. The strange person handed Naruto the briefcase and said, ah, Agent Whisker, here is your assignment, before vanishing. Let me see what needs to be done. Opening the briefcase, Naruto said, As the voice from the briefcase started to explain the assignment, it said, Agent Whisker, your mission if you chose to accept Ida, and concluded, this message along with the bar will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Whoa! The bar and the briefcase exploded, and everyone followed as Naruto said, everyone takes cover. Well, I'm off to save the world from some evil mastermind, he said, dusting himself off. How about the classroom's damage from the explosion? Iruka inquired. What harm? He inquired. What the devil is going on? That damage? Wait a minute. Iruka pointed to the classroom that was undamaged and asked. A man wearing black glasses and a dark suit said, go back to what you were doing. There's nothing to see here. Iruka uttered the words, Naruto, you have detention for joining a secret government agency, only to find himself confronted by straw dummy Naruto, who was holding a sign that read, Naruto Uzumaki is not here right now, please leave a message. Oh no, what will I do about that child? Do you have any suggestions, straw dummy Naruto? Iruka inquired. On straw dummy Naruto's sign board, the response read, not a clue. Iron Stomach Chef, number 59. The Iron Stomach Chef welcomes you. I'm Inuzuka Kiba, your host. Kiba introduced himself to the crowd. Was holding it in the classroom required? Iruka inquired. That question is irrelevant right now, Kiba acknowledged. All right, so tell me why you are hosting this. Additionally, remind me to detain Naruto and the other boys for this, as I know he is the one responsible, Iruka said. Oh no. Shikamaru, Naruto, Kiba, Choji, and yes, even Shino, moaned. Anyway, I'm the host because of my good look, Kiba replied. I thought that you were made the host because you were too stupid to do anything else, said Shino. Shino, stop talking. This brings us to our Iron Stomach Chefs. Iron Stomach Chef Yua, Kiba said, gesturing to the brown clad chef. Iron Stomach Chef Kumo, indicating the chef in yellow. Iron Stomach Chef Kiri, indicating the chef in blue. Iron Stomach Chef Suna, indicating the chef in green, and Iron Stomach Chef Konoha, indicating the chef in red. Are we not enemies with the Anbu? Why aren't they removing people from Iwa and Kumo? Shikamaru inquired. And Kiba, you forgot them, didn't you? That's why you didn't mention their names, Shino inquired. Now introducing our contestants for today's show, Naruto and these two guys, Kiba shouted, pointing to Naruto and the other two chefs. We are only enemies with the ninja from those places. Also shut up, Shino, he said. You forgot the names of the other two contestants, didn't you, Yubaka, Shino said cruelly. Naruto said, I'm just relieved that he remembered my name. All right, you two can go die. In any case, each competitor will begin on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3 started, Kiba uttered. After throwing all the fruits into the air and slicing them quickly with his knives, Naruto threw a stuffed chicken at the roasted pig, creating a massive dust cloud. He then leapt into the dust cloud with a pair of kitchen knives, and the sound of chopping, frying, and cutting could be heard. Amazing people, Uzumaki is showcasing his insane fruit ninja abilities and then his insane angry bird technique. As the dust settled and Naruto prepared a king-sized feast while the other two competitors hardly started, Kiba declared, wait, folks, I think he is done. How did you create such a feast in just 5 minutes? Kiba pointed the microphone in Naruto's direction. Because I am a ninja and a ninja is a master of the culinary art, he responded. In any case, Uzumaki is the winner because the judges ruled that the other two are not ninja enough to be Iron Stomach Chef. I thought it was the killing art. Kiba addressed the crowd, watch closely to see if Uzumaki can maintain his Iron Stomach Chef title. Actually, this show is being cancelled because the producer stated that the host, Kiba, was too stupid for the audience to handle, Shino informed them. I hate you all, Kiba uttered in his pit of despair. Whistling a tune, Naruto said, well, back to the community college to find a new career path before leaving the room. Animal Tamer number 60 Naruto gave the animals their instructions. Okay, bears, you need to work on your footwork. Tigers, on the other hand, need to work on your jazz hand. Remember what I said about bringing a wild animal into the classroom last time, Naruto? Iruka inquired. Naruto stated, but they're not wild animals, they're highly trained animals, and as a certified animal trainer I decided that we are going to be entering the talent show, so we're practicing for it, to which the animal in question nodded in agreement. And why are you practicing in the classroom? Iruka inquired. Because we need a place to practice without worrying about the competition spying on us, and this place is the last place they would look for us, Naruto replied. Naruto, this is a classroom, it is a place of learning, Iruka stated. Naruto wisely remarked, only if you let yourself, Iruka. Naruto detention, sighed Iruka. So we have to deal with Robot Boy and the overgrown cows, huh? replied Byako. Guess so, said Soul. Byako muttered, Fun, Futon. K's. Juno Hoko. Wind release. Wind beast roar. And let out a powerful roar that sent the behemoths and token, promoted pawn unit reeling back from the bridge as Soul soared into the air. Soul let out a stream of flame at the adversaries, saying, Kaden. Hi Hitoyusumi, fire release, fire breather. One of the behemoths said, Raiden. Inazuma, lightning release. Lightning bolt, growling as it retaliated with a lightning burst. Before launching a chakra beam at them, the token, promoted pawn unit said, Chakra Imachi, chakra blast, as its hands started to glow. Byako drew his sword and charged at the token, promoted pawn unit after dodging their attack. When he moved between the two behemoths, he slashed his sword diagonally, leaving gashes on both. Then, he leapt back to avoid the token, promoted pawn unit's mechanical fist. He also ducked a behemoth on his right that was charging at him, but the behemoth on his left slammed him. Soul dive. Bombed that behemoth, then used his bone tail to whip the other behemoth, but the token promoted pawn unit hit him with a punch that broke bones. Kaden. Hi no Tama. Fire release. Ball of flame. Soul uttered, launching numerous fireballs into the air that drifted in the direction of the adversary, severely scorching them. He then threw one of the behemoths at the other two opponents after biting down on it. Byako said, Futon. K's. Jusarashu, wind style. Wind beast slash. Hurling wind blades at the fallen foes, causing scratches that resembled claws to appear on them. He told Soul, I will fan the flame if you light the fire. Soul responded, Hi, Kaden. Rei Ryu Mocha, fire release. Spirit Dragon Inferno. As he exhaled a stream of blue flames that charred the air, the ground, and the river itself. Byako's loud roar produced a corporal wind tiger the size of him. Futon. K's. Ju Kyodina Hoko, wind release, wind beast mighty roar, he said. When the wind tiger touched the flames, it was engulfed by the blue inferno, causing it to catch fire and transform into a blazing blue fire. Tiger attack. The blue flame tiger that had formed erupted in a deafening roar as it exploded, burning and blasting the two behemoths to smithereens when the combined attacks struck them. Then Soul, with his own claw and tail, and Byako, with his claw and sword, let loose their wrath on the token, promoted pawn unit, tearing it apart piece by piece until only a heap of trash remained of him. That takes care of it, Soul said, spitting out the detached arm of the token, promoted pawn unit. Byako sheathed his katana and said, Yeah, hopeful the kid can take care of the rest of them. Then, since they had finished their battle and were running low on chakra, both summonses dispelled themselves. Underlings Fuyo, Keima, and Kyosha units, Genins, Fallen, and Hellhounds versus Runners. When Sasuke uttered the words, Kachiyose no Jutsu, summoning technique, a hawk flock appeared. He said to them, aids us in our battle against our enemies. From the hawks, Hi, Sasuke. Sama, emerged. As he slashed his Chikudo diagonally downward, Sasuke said, Raiden. Dengeki Senjin, lighting release. Blitzkrieg blade. Unleashing a lightning attack that shattered the earth and killed a few runners and underlings while destroying a Keima, knight, unit. Shikamaru said, Kageme no Jutsu, shadow possession technique, while tying two Fuyo, pawn, and Kyosha, lance, units together. Shoji said, Nikuden Sensha, human bullet tank, as he mowed the bind units. Following its own recovery from the ground, the Kyosha, lance, unit retaliated with a Chakuragazo, chakra shot, followed by the two Fuyo, pawn, units. Sakura and Ino were supporting the three genin by using shuriken and kunai to snipe down the adversaries. In contrast, the fallen, Naruto's enlisted skeleton warriors, were using their swords, battle axes, spears, and any other weapons they could find to fight the enemies. The Hellhounds attack any adversary they can get their hands on by biting, clawing, and jumping. As the battle continues, Sasuke's hawk finds an opening and uses it to launch elemental attacks, dive, bombs, and pecks from the sky. Shikamaru said, We need to end this fast, as he dodged a chakra shot from the knight, Keima, unit. Kaden. Funka, fire release. Eruption. Sasuke uttered as he slammed his Chikudo to the ground, sending a fiery explosion blasted at the Fuyo, pawn, units surrounding him. After the attack, he uttered the words, Kaden. Nobio Arakoru, fire release. Raging wildfire, as his now red hot Chikudo cleaved the Fuyo, pawn, units in half, setting them on fire from the point of cut. All three of the Fuyo, pawn, Units were destroyed when the fire consumed their entire body. The Chikuto, however, was unable to withstand the attack and started to crack before breaking in two. Sasuke remarked, "There goes my blade," as he peered down at his broken weapon. He said, recalling what had happened a few days prior, "Anyway, I guess Sakura and I can use those super awesome secret elemental techniques that Naruto created for us to use on the remaining enemies." No jutsu flashback. A few days prior, Naruto addressed his other teammate, saying, "All right, my dearest teammate, I have presents for two of my closest genin comrades of Team 7. Sasuke deadpanned, "Sakura, you and I are the only genins of Team 7, Dobi. Which is a good thing, because if there are other genins on the team, you two would most likely be at the bottom of the list of my closest teammate," said Naruto. Sakura said, "That's not a nice thing to say, considering that one of my teammate is the king of emo world and the other is his #1 fan. Girl, the only reason you two are at the top of the list is because there is no competition," deadpanned Naruto. "We've gotten better at not acting like that," Sakura whispered. "Which I'm grateful for and which is why I am rewarding you too, Haruno-san," replied Naruto. "And since we are training on our elemental affinity, I decided to give you some awesome overkill ridiculously destructive jutsu based on those affinities. So you know a spirit that knows some powerful lightning and or fire jutsu?" asked Sasuke. "No, the lightning and fire jutsus I am giving you are some of the ones that I created myself," said Naruto. "You created some lightning and fire jutsus, how come we never see you use them in battle before?" asked Sasuke. "It because I have difficulty using lightning and fire jutsus. I end up using too much chakra, have trouble control the jutsu, or the jutsu is weaker than it should be. I think it because I have an affinity for wind, considering the relationship it has to those two elements, that I have this problem," Naruto thought. "Well, it is really generous of you to teach us these techniques, though we kind of feel bad that we are not returning the favor, especially our deadbeat sensei," Sakura replied. "Hey, I'm teaching you how to master your elemental affinity, doesn't that count for something?" Kakashi responded. Naruto retorted, "You were promoted from total useless to deadbeat. Alright, once we get back to Konoha I will teach you everything I know and pull some strings to cover for thing that I don't know," Kakashi said. Naruto deadpanned, "Shouldn't you have done that in the first place?" "Well, I was waiting for you guys to overcome the issues that plague your life, meaning Sakura's fan girl tendency, Sasuke's broody emo obsessive revenge antsy thingy, and Naruto's borderline insanity. But now that Sakura is less of a fan girl, Sasuke is no longer revenge obsessed, and Naruto wasn't that much of a problem to begin with. I think we can up your guys' training," Kakashi said with a smile. "Meaning you don't want us to torture you for slacking off," said Naruto. "I prefer calling it taking it slow and easy, but yes," Kakashi stated. "Anyways, for you Tem I give 1S rank, 5A rank, and 5B rank fire and lightning jutsu each. As for you, Haruno-san, I give you the same ranks and number of jutsu but for water and earth each instead of fire and lightning. Practices so you don't end up killing yourself when you use them. Anyways, these super awesome secret elemental techniques are yours to keep," said Naruto. "Super awesome secret elemental techniques, couldn't you come up with a better name for it?" Sasuke was deadpanned. "Yes, but nothing I come up with was on the level of super awesome secret elemental techniques," replied Naruto. Flashback ends without jutsu. The genins and others are back. He may be borderline insane and an idiot at time, but the jutsus he comes up with are not that bad. However, there's no way in hell I telling him that," Sasuke murmured. "Sakura, do you have those elemental jutsu that Naruto give us, master?" "Just the B and A rank jutsus, none of the S rank ones," she responded. "And I'm capable of doing 1S rank jutsu currently," Sasuke replied. As the Kyosha, lance, units fired at the genins with their chakra firearm, the Kama, knight, units yelled, "Kaden! Kanhosha.ki! Fire release! Flamethrower!" as their mechanical horses let loose a stream of fire. Sakura said, "Doden! Ishi.Hey! Earth release! Stone soldier!" conjuring a stone warrior with a big shield and a lance to deflect the enemy's blows. She yelled, "Sweeten! Ryumaki! Water release! Water spout!" summoning a swirling water vortex that drew in the last of the Kyosha, lance, units. Sasuke said, "Raiden! Soto Raryu.Dan! Lightning release! 2. Headed lightning dragon bullet. Forming a twin headed electrical dragon that powers the water attack by twisting both of its long necks around the water spout in opposite directions. Every Kyosha, lance, unit was electrocuted by the combine attack, bringing them to the ground. Shikamaru bind the remaining 2 mounted units. "Choji, get me close to them," Sasuke said. Shikamaru said, "Difficult. Kagemain no jutsu, shadow possession technique, using his shadow to halt the enemy's movement." Choji said, Buban Baika no Jutsu, partial expansion technique, while extending his hand and arm. Sasuke leapt onto Choji's palm, and as Shikamaru's shadow dwindled, Choji threw Sasuke into the air, landing him in front of the Kama Knight units. As flames engulfed him, Sasuke yelled, Kaiten, Fushicho Fukatsu, fire release, Phoenix rebirth, and a large, red firebird emerged from the flames. The two surviving Kama Knight units were reduced to ashes as the flaming bird charged at them. When the summons had finished destroying the last of Frankenstein's creations, they dismissed themselves. When Sakura said that the last of them and from the look of thing the boss summons won their battle, the sky abruptly caught fire. And from the look of things Naruto is living up to his destructive nature, Sasuke said, sneering up at his teammates' red, fiery sky. Frankenstein and the Kinsho unit versus Naruto and the Jonins. Naruto? Inquired Kakashi. To which Naruto answered, yeah, Arrow. Kakashi. Sensei. I wish you stop calling me that. Kakashi sobbed in a typical anime fashion. Anyways, we are facing two ridiculously strong opponents, aren't we? Asked he. Who are also S-ranked immortals that are on the Shinigami hit list, said Obito. Kakashi questioned, so do you have a plan or are we going to wing it? To which Naruto replied, of course I have a plan, as he flew directly at Frankenstein and the Kinsho Gold General unit. He yelled, and it's this, charge. The mechanical soldier only punched him in the face, causing everyone to perspire. The Kinsho Gold General unit sneered, pathetic, did you think that would work on me meat.bag? As the Naruto who had been punched in the face exploded, devouring the enemies in the blast, another Naruto said, of course not, this is only a delay tactic, Bunshin Daibakuha, shadow clone explosion, emerging beside Kakashi. A charred Frankenstein remarked, you caught us off guard, but it will take more than one explosion to bring us down, as the dust settled. Naruto grinned and said, who said it was only a single explosion I set up for you guys? Naruto, you're not thinking of a... Kakashi started, but was cut off by a faint shudder, then a loud explosion. Naruto declared, I came up with some new themes for my exploding clone series that I'm dying to try out, as a penguin swooped toward the adversaries and burst. Meanwhile, in the hidden lair of Akatsuki, Deidara had a tear in his eye and was staring toward Wave. Wipe the tear from his eye. Someone out there is performing a great performance of art, he said. Deidara pumped his fist in the air and remarked, art is a bang, Sasori said, art is eternal, you brainless twit. Both of you shut the hell up. We are not here for your stupid art argument, Pain yelled. Toby is not arguing because Toby is a good boy, said the member wearing the orange mask. Pain sighed, that's nice Toby, as his actual body, in a secret room, banged his head and complained about working with a group of baka. Now since everyone is here, I want to inform you all to continue gathering information on each of your target and if you get the chance capture then, he said. Understood, and we shall all follow those orders. Expect for a few weeks during this summer, where I will be cashing in my vacation time to attend the Pocky Festival, Itachi said with a serious voice. The other members yelled, we get vacation time, as Pain's eyes twitched wildly. Our goals are too important to waste on Pocky, Pain said. Nothing is more important than Pocky, Itachi said in a voice full of venom. Beside, the festival is being held in Konoha in conjunction with the Chunin exam, so I can check up on the Kyuubi after the festival. And if you don't let me go, I will report you to the evil organization union, he said. The others yelled, we have a union, again. We're not really an evil organization but a world peace organization. Our methods may be a tad radical and we may be labeled as extremist, but it's still for peace, damn it, Pain said. Yeah, but we have enough qualifications to be filed as one. Beside account as a benefit for taxes, Itachi replied. Yeah, Pain said, and all right, you can take your vacation, but don't forget to bring Kisame along, he sighed. Okay, said Itachi. Pain looked at Conan and exclaimed, now next on our agenda is coming up with a new fashionable design for our uniform. What? What? I'm a woman and I want to act like a girl from time to time so I can feel pretty, Conan said. Must be her time of month again, Pain whispered. She snarled, what was that? Pain swiftly stated, nothing, just saying you're very beautiful today, raising his hand in defense. That's what I thought, Conan said sternly. She turned her face away from him, blushed, and poked her finger together like a certain Hyuga. Oh, and thank you for the compliment, she said with a giggle. Toby, the member wearing the orange mask, was hatching his evil plans while the other members continued their conversation. Toba's devious catchphrase, Toby is a good boy, was spoken. Returning to Naruto and the company, honk, honk, boom. When a clown on a unicycle approached the two immortals, he exploded. I may be against clown violence, but I can't help but find it hilarious, said Naruto. So are you going to just keep blowing them up with your clones? Replied Kakashi. While channeling some chakra through Mugen no Sora, Endless Sky, Naruto said, Nah, it became less entertaining a minute ago. Kai, release, causing the skull of a fox to appear. Then, as a blade formed at the bottom of its mouth, making Mugen no Sora, Endless Sky, resemble a death scythe with a fox skull on top, it circled around the staff until it settled on top of it. That's new, said Kakashi. It's Mugen no Sora, Endless Sky, release form. I called it Mugen Sora no Kitsune, Fox of the Endless Sky. I don't use it in Konoha much because of how it looks, said Naruto. Yeah, that would freak most of the villagers, all things considering. So I guess that form give you a power boost or something, Kakashi responded. Well, I think it might boost my elemental and physical attack power. I wasn't really paying any attention during the explanation, but there's no denying that it is really badass, said Naruto. The Mugen Sora no Kitsune, Fox of the Endless Sky, boosted your elemental, physical and Shinigami no Okuramono, gift of the death god, Kekkei Genkei attack power. Do remember that for next time, Obito said. Asuma deadpanned, what the hell, are we in an RPG? Less taking more attacking, we have some dangerous enemies to deal with here, Zabuza sighed. Naruto said, okay, don't get your ninja panties in a twist, which made Zabuza tick. With the words, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Technique, he produced 2 clones. It doesn't matter how many exploding clone you use, you won't defeat us, said the Legion. Though constantly being blow up is kind of getting annoying, Frankenstein remarked. Naruto said, well, then let's try this, and he gave the 2 clones 2 kunai that had seals written on the handle. He said, you know what to do, as the 2 clones vanish and only show up behind the adversaries. Both clones simultaneously uttered the words, Konohagakure Hiden Taijutsu Ogi. Senin Garashi. Roketo.ban. Leaf Village Secret Finger Jutsu. 1000 Years of Death. Rocket version. As they thrust their kunai up the enemy's backs, sending them skyward with the kunai stuck to their rears. Jonin swore at the attack that was used as the handle of the kunai suddenly caught fire and exploded, sending them higher into the air. I really regret teaching him that attack. Well, more use on him than teach him, Kakashi grumbled. I don't think you can call that an attack, it more of a sexually harassment than an attack, Zabuza said. One of the clones exclaimed, Futon. Genzai Josho Kiryu, wind release. Rising air current, as he swiftly soared past the 2 airborne adversaries, dragging them higher before dispelling them. As he watched the enemies descend back to Earth, Naruto instructed them to use their strongest wind or fire jutsu when he said so. Naruto declared, now Kaden. Sora o Moyashi. Fire release. Burning sky. Igniting the sky and the adversaries. The clone said, Futon. Kaze. Jutobo, wind release. Wind beast howl. Fanning the flame with a constant sonic wind attack before it extinguished. Kakashi and Obito jointly recited, Kaden. Gokakyu no Jutsu, fire release, great fireball technique, which fueled the fire attack. Asuma said, Futon. Daitapa, wind release, great breakthrough, giving the attack more strength. 2 charred bodies fell to the ground as soon as the fire was extinguished. That hurts, Frankenstein remarked as he stood up, putting out a few flames on his clothing and flacking off some burned skins. Legions added, you will suffer for dirtying my armor meat. Sack, while wearing a few scorch marks. Kuso, I still have trouble using fire jutsu. I think I put more chakra than needed, Naruto said, taking a moment to catch his breath. He then assumed his battle stance and charged directly at Legion, his side slapping the blade of his gun. Futon. Kaze. Ju no Hoko, wind release. Wind beast roar. Naruto uttered as he threw Frankenstein backward with a deafening wind attack. Then, Legion lifted his gunblade to slit Naruto, who was only stopped by Zabuza's sword. Kakashi ran toward Legion and yelled, Raiden. Reikari, lighting release. Lighting blade, as he attempted to pierce him with his electrical charge hand. Legion said, Chakarashirudo, chakra shield, deflecting the blow until his armor only sustained a minor scrape. He exclaimed, Chakurashi, chakra surge, and then unleashed a blast of energy that sent Kakashi, Zabuza, and Naruto flying back. The 3 then used their weapons in close combat with Legion. As he decided to fight Frankenstein, Obito yelled, Kaden. Gokakyu no Jutsu, fire release. Great fireball technique, hurling a massive fireball at him. In response to the fire attack, Frankenstein uttered the words, Sweden. Sweden no Jutsu, water release. water bullet technique, which sent a blast of water. Then, as the attack collided, Obito exploded through the haze, hitting Frankenstein with his scythe while Asuma joined the fray with his chakra blade that was infused with wind chakra. As the battle continued and the sky grew darker, unknown to the combatants, the sound of metal hitting metal could be heard. When Frankenstein finally noticed the shift in the forecast, he asked, "Is it just me, or did it just get darker?" After everyone had retreated, Naruto said, "So it finally took effect. Okay, everyone fall back. Sweden. Uzukengoku. Water release. Vortex prison, trapping both Frankenstein and Legion inside a watery cyclone." Kakashi questioned, "Took effect? Were you waiting for something? You didn't think that I set the sky ablaze because I think it was totally awesome, did you?" replied Naruto. He asked, raising an eyebrow. "You didn't?" "No, I did, but I also wanted to heat up the atmosphere." Now Arrow. Kakashi. Sensei, since you were a genius, considered this warm air rapidly rising to area of cooler air in a moist environment as a perfect condition for what? Naruto responded. "No way," Kakashi cried, gazing up at the heavens. "What?" inquired Zabuza. "My student, who is borderline insane, created that," Kakashi said, gesturing up at the sky. "Clouds so?" inquired Zabuza. When Kakashi said, "Not just any kind of clouds but thunderclouds." When Asuma asked, "Why thunderclouds?" Naruto merely grinned in response. Naruto declared, "Raiden. Raijin Kaminaradeko, lighting release. Thunder God lightning drum." As a blinding flash filled the area and 1,000 deafening lightning bolts struck where the two enemies were. Asuma screamed, "Damn, there goes my hearing." "What?" exclaimed Kakashi. As the dust settled, Zabuza exclaimed, "What the hell, they're still alive," revealing two enemy soldiers who were still standing but exhausted and in excruciating pain. "Kuso, that hurt like hell. I think all of my Doden organs are destroyed," moaned Frankenstein. "Most of my circuits are fried, I'm barely operational," Legion said. "Then you don't mind if I cease your function permanently? Everyone stay behind me, I don't want you to get in the crossfire." Cage Bunshin no Jutsu. Shadow clone technique. Naruto said as he created 4 clones. While Naruto transformed Mugen Sora no Kitsune, Fox of the Endless Sky, from a scythe into a sword with a chakra blade, and the fox skull turned into a guard resting at the hilt, the clones split off and started to form a ball of chakra in one of their hands. Before dispelling, the clones that are not holding the ball of chakra kick Legion into the air. Before dispelling, the clones with the chakra ball slammed it on Legion, denting its armor. Rasengan, spiraling sphere, they said. On the other hand, Naruto was covering Mugen Sora no Kitsune's Fox of the Endless Sky blade with a shell of swirling chakra by spinning wind chakra from his arm to the tip of the blade. Then, as he started to fall, he flew directly toward Legion, pointing his blade at his adversary. As Naruto broke through the sound barrier and went supersonic, he said, "Futon. Soniku Ha, wind release. Sonic blade," which caused the whirling chakra surrounding the blade to grow and cover his entire body in a whirlwind with wind. Blade threads spinning behind him. In order to block the blade threads that were whipping at him, Frankenstein said, "Hyodin. Hyoba Cabe, ice release. Glacier wall." But the blade sliced through the wall, leaving him bloody and mutilated. As Naruto flew through and past legions, the attack drill pierced, cut, and ground him up, obliterating the majority of his upper body. On the pirate ship, Ju said, swinging his metal hammer, "Don't worry, drunken old dude, I'll protect you with my mighty hammer of awesomeness," while Naru kicked some bad guy's ass. "Something tells me that this kid is as insane as the blonde one, and why are we on a pirate ship?" Tazuna responded. "Considering how fast they bonded, there's some truth to that," Tree said. "And we are on a pirate ship because it is a pirate ship, why wouldn't we be on it?" Cloud yelled. "Also, we just saw the blonde. Baka just lit the sky on fire, do you want to be in the middle of that or get caught in the crossfire of it?" asked Kurama. Tazuna looked at Kurama and said, "No," as he was still unaccustomed to a talking fox, a talking pork bun, 2 talking dolls, and an odd child. Kurama questioned, "So who give the Baka, Brat, a Kami Forsaken hammer?" "I did," said Makona. "So you give a hyperactive 8-year-old a war hammer to cause untold destruction upon the world. What were you thinking, pork bun?" Kurama inquired. "I didn't give a hyperactive 8-year-old a war hammer to cause untold destruction on the world. I give a hyperactive 8-year-old a war hammer that is infused with the power of lightning, storm and weather to cause untold mass destruction upon the world, and I give it to him because he looks so adorable with it," replied Makona. "Infused with the power of lightning, storm and weather?" asked Kurama. "It is a replica of a weapon called Mjolnir, a weapon that is wielded by Thor, a Norse mythical god of thunder, lightning, storms and a bunch of other things. It may be a replica but its power still equal to the original, replied Makona. Zap. Take that, you Covenant scum, zap, Ju exclaimed, while his hammer released a tiny bit of electricity. They call me a force of nature, but I met two beings that can cause more destruction than me, Kurama gasped. Gazing out into the distance, he remarked, it looks like Gato is about to make his appearance. Really? Inquired Tazuna. Do you know anyone else the stink of greed, corruption and overcompensation? Asked Kurama. No, he said. Looking across the bridge, Kurama snarled, thought so, this presence it can't be, what the hell is he doing here? In a swirl of red chakra, he disappeared. You four stay here and protect the bridge builder. I have to warn Naruto about this, he said. Tazuna inquired, what was that about? The other and Naruto. Naruto exhaled sharply as he joined the others. Well, that take care of the robotic battalion, he said. You okay? Inquired Kakashi. Naruto took out a soldier pill and ate it. Yeah, just feeling a bit drained, especially from that last jutsu. It took a lot out of me. But this should help, however, since I took one already, this should be the last one for me today, he said. As Shikamaru approached them, he remarked, you really are a troublesome guy knowing a powerful just you like that. Sasuke remarked, HN looks like one of your crazy original jutsu. And from the destruction it cuz I said is an S-rank jutsu, Kakashi thought. Yeah, and the process of creating it is the reverse of creating the futon. Rasen Shuriken, wind release. Spiraling Shuriken, Naruto replied. What do you mean? Inquired Sakura. For the futon. Rasen Shuriken, wind release. Spiraling Shuriken. You learn shape transformation then add nature transformation. The futon. Sonikuha, wind release. Sonic blade. In nature transformation then use shape transformation to give the wind. Natured chakra its form, he responded. Now all that is left for us to deal with is Frankenstein, Asuma stated. A bloody Frankenstein declared, you all are the first to cause this much damage to me, but I'm not done yet. He's here, Baka.Kit, Kurama said, emerging beside him. Hey, who are you referring to? Naruto inquired. How disappointing, it seems like none of you can do your job right, Gato said as he appeared with a mercenary. But it does make things easier now that you all are tired. I can get rid of you all at once, and since I don't have to pay Zabuza or those two freaks, I can do it at a cheap price. Kurama, were you referring to the unattractive midget with the mustache over there? Naruto inquired. Growling, you dare insult me, Gato said. No, but the world will be a better place once we get rid of him, Kurama said. Naruto answered, yeah, no one will miss that small insignificant midget, ignoring the irate Gato. Gato snorted, don't you dare ignore me. Naruto teased Gato by putting his hand over his ear and saying, did you hear that, Kurama? It sounds like a little itty-bitty mouse squeaking. Kurama added to the taunting, yeah, it sounds like a little, itty-bitty overcompensating mouse trying to make himself bigger than he is, as the other person started to perspire. You will suffer a terrible death, Gato snarled. A man dressed in a Victorian suit with a gauntlet of brass, iron, and leather, adorned with gear and a signal clock on the middle of it for his right arm, said, and what can you do, little mouse, as he abruptly materialized atop a high-tech aircraft that appeared to have a robotic head on it. Looks like the annoying meat. Bags took down all of my soldiers that were sent here, the plane reported, including one of my elite Kinsho, Gold General, units. We can still defeat them, Shika, Rook. As it crawled to them, a Fuyo, Pon, unit that was missing an arm and the bottom portion of its body, its armor covered in cuts and burns, said, with you and the traveler here we can take them down easily now. How did it survive all of that? I thought that what you guys did destroy it, Ino replied. Troublesome there like cockroach, really a pain in the butt to get rid of, Shikamaru stated. Defective product should not be seen nor heard, said Legion's Hisha, Rook, unit in an emotionless, mechanical monotone. Then, aiming all of its mounted firearms at the broken Fuyo, Pon, unit, the Hisha, Rook, unit launched a volley of chakra blasts at it, vaporizing the broken cybernetic soldier. Frankenstein said, that was very cruel of you, Legion, to the airplane. You were a mess, Frankenstein. Look like biology didn't help you out much, Legion said. And the destruction of your toy soldiers was not prevented by your technology. Additionally, the blonde Death Lord is turning out to be more difficult than we initially anticipated, Frankenstein said. She doesn't seem like much, said the man in the Victorian suit. Frankenstein deadpanned, saying, I said Lord not lady, so that mean it's a guy and not her. Though I do wonder where he went. He was here a minute ago, he said, searching for Naruto, when Naruto suddenly materialized beside the man in the Victorian suit, Mugen Sora no Kitsune, Fox of the Endless Sky, in scythe form. ready to cut the man in half. As Naruto flew backward in the air and in time back to the other, the man in the Victorian suit said, "Sutapu. Stop," freezing Naruto in place. "Ah, you mean this Death Lord? Hello little Reaper, it's nice to meet you again. Rewind," he said. "Traveler," Naruto spat. "You're going down, you temporal anomaly. Kurama no Mon. Riberu 6 Ririsu. Gate of Kurama. Level 6 release," he said, releasing a great deal of power, giving Kurama 6 tails while the others protected themselves from the attack. Naruto then appeared, clad in yellow chakra, asking, "Are you ready, Kurama?" he inquired with his fox ally. Kurama remarked, "Right behind you Baka.Kit," as the two of them lunged towards Traveler, a man in a Victorian suit. "Suru, slow," said Traveler, as the world's motions grew slow. Naruto activated a seal on him by saying, "Jiken Shiru, time seal, Kai," which eliminated the effect of the Traveler's ability. "I suppose you learned from our previous encounter because you devised a method to counter my ability, and the seal works for you both simultaneously because of your bond with the fox. But it appears to be restricted to those who possess the seal," he remarked, observing that the only people whose movement was unhindered were Naruto and Kurama. Saying, "Your fight is with me," Naruto charged at him, raising his scythe. Traveler said, "It is time for you to learn painfully that we are all a slave to time and your little bag of tricks won't save you. Haisudo, haste," before advancing on Naruto at breakneck speed and slamming him in the stomach with such force and speed that it knocked him backward. Then, moving behind him at the same breakneck speed, he delivered another painful blow. Kurama bit him and held him down with his tails and said, "You didn't forget about me, did you?" Naruto then slammed him with his yellow chakra fist and then slashed him with his scythe. He then sealed away his scythe and used his chakra arms to create a Rasengan, spiraling sphere, in both hands, saying, "Suin Rasengan, twin spiraling sphere," slamming both of them into his opponent before his chakra shroud dispelled. "Look like you reach your limit for that power," the Traveler said, teleporting in front of Naruto while gripping him by the neck. "Anyway, as I previously stated, it is time for you to learn the painful lesson that we are all subject to the cruel laws of time." As space and time started to warp around them, he pulled Naruto higher and said, "The first lesson is that time robbed you of everything." Then a hammer flew at him, slapping Traveler in the face in such a painful way that he had to let go of Naruto. Ju grabbed the hammer as it flew back to him and said, "Leave Naru alone, you big meanie." "Is that you, Shin? Why are you here? No, you're too innocent to be the goddess's evil and twisted pet," the Traveler said, pointing at Ju. "But I should deal with you now because something tells me you might cause us trouble later on and you are going to pay for what you just did to my face," he said, moving quickly toward Ju. A voice that sounded like Kurama asked, "Are you going to let that Teme take another one of your precious person away?" "No," Naruto mentally responded, "Danketsu Tamashi. Shi no Kage, Unity Soul. Shadow of Death," as a Grim Reaper materialized behind him. Then its skeletal hand grabbed Traveler, preventing it from attacking Ju. "Thank you for that, Kurama," he said to the fox. Kurama wondered, "What are you talking about? That wasn't me, though there's something familiar about it." He thought, "I'm your opponent, Teme, and I'm not done with you yet." "Great," another voice in my head. "I deal with that later. I have a job to do right now." As Traveler's hair, nails, and beard grew longer, giving him the appearance of a wrinkled old man due to his rapidly aging body, Naruto said, "Now let's see if you like a taste of your own medicine Funo Noroi. Roka, Curse Vessel. Senescence." The Grim Reaper then tore one of Traveler's arms before painfully tossing him across the bridge. "As an intriguing little Reaper, you can use your power to make my body age more quickly than I can, even though you don't have the power over time." The Traveler called forth a Tyrannosaur Rex to attack Naruto, but the Grim Reaper he summoned blocked the charging dinosaur by crossing its arm in front of him, protecting Naruto. The Reaper then grabbed the ancient beast in his hand. Jiken no Mon. Genshi. Ju. Gate of Time. Primal Beast, the Traveler said. As soon as Naruto uttered the words, Nis no Genjutsu. Senjin, False Reality. 1,000 blade. Thousands and thousands of blades materialized out of thin air, raining down on the beast, kill and dispelling it. "Even I, the time and space manipulator, don't have time to waste on you all," Traveler remarked, using his power to age him back to his younger self, repair his arm, and reverse the damage he had sustained in battle. "As fun as this is it," he said. "We're leaving, Frankenstein, Legion, or the boss lady will take our heads. We'll see the blue-haired brat, the Little Reaper, and our acquaintances again," he remarked. "The next time we meet, I will make sure that you all understand the true cruelty of life, but for now, bye, as the area surrounding him distorted and a portal opened in front of Frankenstein and Legion, allowing them to vanish. Naruto said, "Damn it," as he collapsed to the ground and punched the ground. "Should we pursue them, boss?" one of the mercenaries inquired. "No, they are no longer our problem, and once we deal with these ninjas they won't be either," Gato replied. "Are you all still present?" Naruto growled as he faced the ground, his bang covering his eyes. "Go and never return while you all still have the chance, because I swear I will make you all suffer, especially when I'm in the mood that I am in," he said. "Are you threatening me, you idiot?" Along with his hired bandits, Gato laughed and said, "Are you forgetting that we outnumber you here? You know it's not healthy for you to keep on burying your negative emotion. Yo, outer me, this guy is beginning to piss me off. Let me out and together we shall show him true terror," a dark voice in Naruto's mind said. "Beside, we need to deal with our anger of letting that Teme escape once again, and who better to unleash it on than a trash like him and his men." After responding to his darker side, Naruto threw his face up in the air and let out a wild laugh. "It is really funny that trash like you all to think that numbers matter when they are facing the devil himself," Naruto said, giving his opponents a grin that made them shudder. Gato, trying not to urinate, said, "Not only do we have number but also power too. Once my sailing vessel gets here you shall see what kind of power I wield with money." "Where the hell is it? It should be here by now," he said, pulling out a handheld radio. A voice on the radio said, "Bad news, boss, your ship has been sunken, taking with it all of the weapons and drugs on it and some of the men." "How?" Gato shouted into the radio. "We don't know, all we saw was a beam of light hit the ship, explosion and the ship sinking," replied the individual. Ju pumped his fist and exclaimed, "Sweet, I took down the pirate ship," as the others gaped. "Fuck it. We can still defeat them and leave the girls, so it doesn't really matter. Before we put them up for sale, you guys can enjoy yourselves with them," Gato remarked, glaring at Sakura and Ino. With his bone chilling grin still intact, Naruto declared, "I will make you beg for death for your bad move of threatening my comrades and making a comment like that, Teme." Kurama said, "Midget really did it now, things are going to get bloody," as he appeared beside the others, carrying a big bowl of candy. "What are you saying?" Kakashi inquired. "It's problematic because he implies that Gato resents Naruto enough to let it loose." As he and Shoji ate some popcorn, Shikamaru said, "You all are going to see the Akuma Oukabe, smiling devil, approaching them with the other. Akuma Oukabe, or the devil with a smile. Tazuna, Sakura, Ino, Kakashi, Asuma, Zubuza, Haku, and Sasuke inquired. "You'll see," said Shikamaru. Naruto said, "All right trashes, let's play," in a sinister and malevolent manner. "Get them," said Gato. "Come on, people, he's just a child. What could possibly go wrong?" one of the mercenaries questioned. His response was, "For today's forecast, we will experience a shower of bloody this afternoon, followed by a hailstorm of body parts." The hired thugs who were in the way between where Naruto was standing and where he is now exploded in a shower of blood, guts, and body parts. Naruto vanished and appeared in front of Gato in the blink of an eye. "I'll get back to you, Bob." With a spooky smile on his face, Naruto said, "Thank you, Frank." We are at a scene where the crime boss Gato, the evil Mickey Mouse wannabe gangster, is about to be brutally murdered. The other person started to perspire at his remarks. "Didn't he finally lose it?" Kakashi inquired. Sasuke said, "There are moments when I question whether he was ever sane in the first place." The goons took a step forward, but when Naruto unleashed a great deal of killing intent, they stopped and backed up a couple of steps. "What are you fools, stand there, forget him," Gato said fearfully as he fell on his butt. As the Grim Reaper behind Naruto raised his arm in the air and created a ball of energy, he said, "Good boys and girls have to be patient and wait their turn, but I brought some playmate to occupy your time until then." Danketsu Tamashi. Shonen no Kurushimi, Unity Soul. Suffering of the witnesses, he said, as the souls, spirits, and essences of every person that the mercenaries wrong risen from the ground to inflict both mental and physical pain they suffered at the hands of their accuser back at them tenfold. Naruto said joyfully, "Now let's get back to having fun with Naruto and Gato the limping Teme." "What?" Gato questioned, but Naruto's chakra enhanced foot stomped on his leg, breaking it painfully and causing the crime boss to scream in agony. Naruto gleefully pulled out his scythe and stabbed Gato in the shoulder, saying, "Oh, don't be such a baby, that pain is nothing. If you want to experience real pain you should try this." He remarked, "Fu no Noroi. Hai Tazoku no Batsu, curse vessel. Punishment of the fire thief," following Gato's imprint. Then, as the sensation spread throughout his entire body, Gato started to convulse in excruciating pain. The Grim Reaper grabbed Gato's arm and started to crush it, breaking every bone from the tip of his finger to his shoulder. What next? What next? He exclaimed excitedly. Oh, I know. Let's break your bone piece by piece, he replied. After finishing, he moves to Gato's other arm before moving to his legs. Wait, please stop, Gato implored. Monies, women and henchmen, I have them all. If you spare me I can give you anything you want. Anything? Asked Naruto. Yes, anything. I will give it all to you if you spare me and pledge loyalty to me. Together we will be unstoppable, said Gato. When Naruto said, okay, we have a deal if you can give me what I want. What? What are you thinking, Naruto? You're not going to join that scum, are you? Ino yelled. Come down, Ino, said Shikamaru. But heya, Ino started. Naruto is not going to betray us like that, he not that kind of person, Shoji said. What I want from you is to give back everything you took from the people of this country. All the lives you ended, the hope you've stolen, the happiness and innocence that you robbed, give it back and then I shall spare your worthless life, Naruto said with a grave voice. What? I can't bring back the dead, that is impossible, said Gato. With a chilling grin on his face, Naruto remarked, oh well, it looks like we don't have a deal, but the money, women, and material things you offer earn you something. He said, a slow and painful death, as his smile widened. After that, he swings his scythe wildly and incredibly fast, causing Gato to bleed deeply and scream. He cut off Gato's right arm by slashing downward, then the other arm by slashing upward, and finally he swung the scythe to the right to cut off both legs. Gato coughed up blood as Naruto swiftly swung his scythe to the left, slicing the heart as his torso fell to the ground. When the blade sliced through the heart, he continued to move, pulling the body along with it until it was thrown into the air. He killed Gato by beheading him with a final slash as the torso fell. He gives the head a powerful kick that sends it across the bridge before it hits the ground. Naruto cried out, "Goal!" as the head stopped rolling and the other person's perspiration stopped. When Kakashi said, he went past overkill and landed on ridiculous, he was harsh. One of the mercenaries' bruises and bleeding said, hey, you kill our paycheck, as Naruto's jutsu started to wear off of them. We're going to make you pay for that and then raid the village for everything it has, a different criminal stated. The one who are going to paying are all you trashes and it shall be for all the sins that you all committed. The currencies that I take it in will be in your bloods, Naruto grinned. Hey, he stole my thing, Kakashi exclaimed, crying like an anime character. Naruto declared, Futon. Zensho. Fu, wind release. Ominous wind. As the nearest mercenaries fell apart in a gory heap of body parts. Then he flew to the closest goon and started slashing and hacking them. Naruto effortlessly danced around them when they attempted to attack him. In a matter of minutes, Naruto's graceful death performance eliminated the majority of them. When Naruto uttered the words, Futon, Shinku Togoku, wind release, vacuum imprisonment, the body parts that were scattered on the ground and the remaining goons were drawn toward a specific area above him, where they were trapped. After releasing the power fire, Kaden, Sora Omoyashi, fire release, burning sky. The previous wind attack drew the flame in, forming a superhot, bright, blazing ball of fire in the sky that burned everything in it. Okay, first setting the sky ablaze, then the insane light show and now a miniature sun. Kakashi, your student, is not normal by any standards, and that not including that fact that he can command the army of the undead, Zabuza said. Yeah, he really doesn't understand the meaning of the word restraint, Kakashi said. The ashes of their remains are carried away by the wind once the fire has subsided. Naruto has a serious expression on his face as he tilts his head toward the sky. With a sigh, he pricked his thumb to extract blood, which he then used to clean the seal on Mugen no Sora. He said, Kachiyose no Jutsu, summoning technique, and summoned Karen, the soul ferryman, who was seated on a boat that hovered above the earth. After finding some loose change in his pocket, Naruto tossed it to Karen, who caught it in his hand. Naruto said, send them straight to hell, in a composed manner. Karen said, as you wish, these evil and corrupt souls will go to where they belonged, sending chains flying from the boat as he slammed his oar down. Gato and his men are trapped and made visible to the living by the way the chains twist around them. Then a huge, terrifying red door materialized as Karen steered his oar forward. It opened up to a chasm that radiated hate, terror, grief, and pain. Gato and his men were thrown through the door by the chains with a wave of his oar, and then the door closed and vanished. Fearful of the door, Sakura exclaimed, what the hell was that? Funny choice of words because that was Hell's Gate and I just send those trashes a one-way ticket to the pit of hell, Naruto grumbled. Tazuna remarked, good that where those bastards should be at. Before dispelling, Karen said, Well, my job is done here. Call me when you need my service again. Now since Gato, who betrayed you, is dead, you have no more reason to kill Tazuna, right? Naruto said quietly. Right, said Zabuza. Naruto ran to the edge of the bridge to throw up. Good, now if you excuse me a blarg, he replied. He said, okay, all better, on second thought a blarg, which made the other person start to perspire. Kakashi inquired, are you okay, Naruto? Yeah, just not used to killing. Both the smell and sight of Ida blarg, said Naruto. Wimp, Kurama and Yami Naruto both said to him in his head. Naruto said to them, shut you too. We're here to fight for our home, Inari declared as the villagers arrived on the scene. Naruto responded, a little late, little bubya blarg, but if want proof of our victory I think Gato's head is over there somewhere a blarg, as the villagers applauded at reclaiming their freedom and home. He said, now if you don't mind, I really tired so I going to sleep now, as he passed out on the bridge. Kakashi remarked, after what we went, I think we all deserve a rest, as he observed that everyone was in batter and berries.
That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this great story. See you in the next one.